Can you guys see the screen?
I can.
Awesome.
Yes.
Rick, welcome, if you can hear us.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep. What's up, Rick?
Cool. It works on my iPad. This is great. I can sit on the freaking sofa like a lazy ass and talk.
All right. Good shit.
There you go.
This will work.
We got Grim, Howie, C-Max, myself, and I think Slam wanted to come on and Red Zone, but I'll get them in when they come on. But we can start. I wanted to, talk about the rookies. And I also wanted to talk about sleeper picks that you guys think that was out there. And also maybe hit some of the trades if we have some time that was made.
Sounds like a full platter.
Yes, it does. So let's start with the first wide receiver taken off the board by Brooklyn. Now,
No brainer there.
Now we have that. How does that thing go again? Is
Going to the.
Here
yep.
we go. Here we
go.
go
To Brooklyn on the right side.
And then just right click on them.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. So this is a guy that Jobs took. Was thinking about trading him, but decided to keep him. Does anyone know if anyone offered him anything for his wide receiver?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't
can't
know if
remember.
anybody offered him anything or not. But
I thought,
did Kodo say he tried to make an offer?
Yeah, I think that I thought Jobs had said that he had a couple offers and then just ended up saying he's going to keep him, which I would have done too. Yeah.
Well, he
No
needs
need
a
to
wide
trade.
receiver anyway.
Yes. So look at his team right now. So that wide receiver is going to help him out a lot.
Yep. Adams is going to be a happy boy.
He's got Hirschberg.
Hirschberg will benefit from having him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think, yeah, that's... So it's going to be good to see, even though I'm not sure how much percentage he's developed, but within 2 years he'd be good. I offered... Yeah, C-Max.
I was just going to say he might struggle the first couple of years till that route running fills out. But I mean, if he holds his bars up, that guy's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have traded him. Never.
Clay, you can click on Ron Ellard and we'll be able to see how much he is developed.
Okay.
Seventeen.
17%. Yeah. But there's nothing to indicate. I mean, his combines, everything looks good. His position drill's good. There's no reason that he shouldn't fill out those bars, other than just the random chance of getting screwed. I know.
Agree. I threw in an offer of I think I gave 2 seconds. I mean 2 firsts. I think I did. I know. It wasn't going to happen.
Well, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, because he would have gotten my first, which was number 6.
Yeah. Hey, he would have still got a white out and a plus for next year.
Exactly. So, and I think I threw in the second too. I'm not sure, but in any event, he kept them. Good pick, Jobs. Like it.
Yeah. You know how I feel about it. I got to deal with this guy now for 12, 13 seasons, and that ain't going to be fun.
No, it's not. Then Snapfinger was up next, and he picked Borders. Let's get him over here, and let's get his team over here. Snapfinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, another no-brainer.
It looks like he's going to be great too. He's going to take a little longer to develop, but
He's
got
great to start. But
He's 6% developed. Let's look at his team.
Ooh, he's got a ways to go.
yeah, but his combines. Good God, 4.27 for the 40, agility 6.75, good bench, great soulsmith. I mean, his position drill's good. Yeah, he's going to be a monster.
So you like him better than Eller?
No, I think I like them both about the same, really. I mean, Ellard probably, I guess would get the edge just because he's got the better. He's got the avoid drops too. But I mean, I'd take either one of them and give up a bounty for either one of them.
And this is his other wide receiver that he has on the team. And he's got a good quarterback, too.
Yep. He's also got that. Nope, sorry. I was looking at someone wrong. Yep. He's got a good making, but Stan Schultz is getting old, so he's got to do something the next couple seasons here.
He's got some good tight ends. I mean, he's got some playmakers.
Yep.
Yes,
Running back's in good shape. Myron Harvey looks nice. That Krutner, I don't know, man. That route running's pretty ugly.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
But that other tight end, he's older, but he's still he got no endurance. But between the two of them, with the wide receivers he's got now, a good running game, yeah, he's set.
He's got a playoff team.
He usually does.
It's just a matter of whether he's got a playoff attention span.
Yeah. That comes from drafting in the top 10 almost every year. So you're going to have a playoff team,
Yep.
Howie, what do you think? If you're still here or you ran out to get
I'm
beer?
still here.
Oh, okay.
I'm still here. I like both of those picks. But yeah, I mean, Snapfinger's picked in the top 5, not top 10. Top 5, most of the time that I've been in the league.
Yeah.
There's no with the outlier where he made one run at the playoffs, he hasn't done much. So
Yeah,
I like the pick.
He's got the potential to if he pays attention.
He got the potential, but I don't know if he's going to be able to if he'll do anything with it.
All right, let's go to the next pick. Who picked next? Paris. Paris picked this running back. So let's get rid of this guy. Let's go to Paris.
Yeah, he's going to be all right. That whole mix is going to be maxed out. Elusiveness is down.
Plenty of endurance.
Lots of endurance, yep.
Decent receiver. Yeah, I mean, he's a great pick. Running back that high in the draft is always tough, but
yeah, I've never shied away from. I don't know if I've ever drafted one in the top 10, but I wouldn't shy away from it because I love running backs. So
yeah, if they're the best available player and someone that you really want, why not? But the number of running backs that were in this draft, there was quite a few pretty decent running backs. You might have been able to move back and still get a guy that was plenty good.
I was kind of shocked that a running back was picked. I thought he was going to pick a wide receiver.
yeah, if you look at his team, though, he kind of needs a running back. So now he also needs wide receivers as well.
Well, actually, the two picks, him and Orlando.
Yeah, man.
I thought the two wide receivers that were on the board left were going to be gone.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same. But being how many linebackers were in the draft, I mean, if we look at round 2 at any point, so many great linebackers were drafted in round 2. It's like maybe a little early to try for this guy. Maybe trade down, get some extra picks if you're not going to go for a wide receiver or one of those running backs. But I think, he's going to be a stud running back. He's going to be great for his career. But I just, for how many linebackers were in that draft, I think that was a little bit early.
But he's got a cool name, so that kind of gives it a little extra.
Yeah, how could you not draft a guy Mad Max? I mean,
yeah, it's not even a nickname. It says actual name. It's Mad Max.
Let me get to that guy, Orlando Mad Max. Let's skip over him.
If he does not nickname him Fury Road, I'm going to be very disappointed. or Thunderdome.
Yeah, just name him Tina Turner.
Thunderdome. Thunderdome would be better.
Let's see. Well, this is his defense, what we're looking at right now.
Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, he's got plenty of linebackers already. Oh, no. Mad Max is the guy there. Okay, so. Yeah, no, man, that's going to be a nice fit.
He's got Tim Henson already.
Yes.
Albert Winters.
Yeah.
Got some decent guys.
He plays a 4-3, Orlando?
I think he's just switched to that. Let me see. 4-3 over.
Yeah, he was a 3-4 before, though, wasn't he? With all those nose tackles on his team.
Yes.
So here
He
you go.
switched this year because he wanted to do better against the run.
Strong outside linebacker. Weak outside linebacker. And then I guess this guy's going to play middle.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
Beautiful.
a great core right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
none of them really have any deficiencies. Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, that's how he pans
I love
out.
linebackers. I love running backs. I can't fault anybody for taking them high in the draft. But based on what was there in the draft, I think it was a little early on both those guys. But I still can't really fault them for it because both of them are going to help their teams a ton.
Okay. Next up is Shoot.
This is Search.
Cert. That's
Cert.
it. Cert. Let's go to his team. Or playing field. So I was on the fence between him and Emmanuel, but Emmanuel was the one I was going to choose first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had Emmanuel rated a little higher too.
Yeah, me too. But Sert had posted in the forum that he was a little disappointed he picked this guy, and then Kansas gets the other guy that's going to be way better, you know. But he
But
doesn't
this
look.
guy ain't
He's
bad.
he looks serviceable to me. So
Yeah, he's just there's a little gray area with that route running. You know, if it gets all the way up to the 63 potential there, then he'll be fine. But if he stops somewhere in the
Yeah, if it breaks over
Maybe that'd
50,
be-
he can work with that.
yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the tough part. It can go either way. Same
Yeah,
for
we-
mine.
We kind of all thought he was going to go defense too in our last chat.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think we all did.
But I guess he wants to
And-
put together his offense and get it going.
Yeah, he's got running backs from last year, and now he's got a whiteout, so he's well on his way.
But look at his defense, by the way, guys. It's not bad.
No,
Not
no,
bad.
No, we're
he's-
just
not a lot
talking
of- not
about-
a lot of depth, but
No, it's
Nice.
it's usually his D line that is the monster. He's always got a monster D line, and he's kind of backed off of that the last few seasons. But now he's got a great secondary. Guess maybe you can only have one or the other. I don't know.
there's a lot of money involved in defense. There's a lot of money in every player if they're good. But how much do you want to spend on your defense? Kind of got to make some tough choices back there.
The route running on this guy is going to be the thing to watch.
Yep. Yeah, if that gets to the top end of that, he's going to be a very nice pick.
Okay, next up is Kansas, my team. So, Emmanuel.
Now, this guy I really did like. I love that route running.
Why
He's
can't I
gonna be
find
good.
my team?
Because you're on the left. You can't pick yourself over there.
Oh, that's right. Thanks for that one.
I was going to say your team starts with a K, so maybe look there.
So I'm also worried about the route running on my guy. Even though it shows all green,
Yeah,
I've
they always look ugly in the beginning. They always look like that.
I've had a guy had all green, and it didn't pan out, and that green went down to like 25.
Isn't
So-
position drill kind of the that plays into route running?
Yeah, soul and position drill.
Yeah. So what did he get there? Soul is pretty decent.
You're good.
Position drill 56. Oh yeah, he can be fine. I bet you he gets most of that bar, if not all of it.
Yeah, and you interviewed him, and look how small that bar is up there.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
I think he'll be fine. Just going to take a year or two to develop.
Yeah, I'd have definitely taken him over the earlier, the last wide receiver. I mean, I think he was the third receiver on the board for sure.
Well, if that bar does go up on the route running, he will help my team. I also signed, by the way, guys, Starks. I signed him for the deal. He's going to be my quarterback.
Oh, Kendrick Starks, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You
How
pulled
much?
the trigger
I-
on that,
I-
huh?
How much?
Yeah, pop it up. Let's see.
Only 45 the first year.
Only 45, he says.
It went like this.
Good Lord.
Oh
It's
man,
like a mortgage on a house.
oh,
Yeah.
a really big house. That's really run down.
Cows.
All right, guys.
Hey, if you can make them work, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
By the way, I saw you got a trade for Skip, the quarterback.
That was last year.
Oh, that was last year?
Yeah, Skip Granados.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked him up last year, and it was kind of interesting because last year when I got him, he had just come off that big old season he had. He wanted like $60 million a season to re-sign, and then I sat him all year behind Shea, and I just re-signed him for $4 million a season. So, but I don't know if he'll ever play. He's just my backup to Shea since Shea decided to get his shit together last year. Now, if he regresses, I won't hesitate to throw Granados in. But, well, I should say I won't hesitate. I'll hesitate about 6 weeks. If we go 0-6, it's Granados time. Because Shea's costing me a buttload. It's like $70 million this year.
Now, Rick, here's your guy that you picked up. Let's see
Trigger.
what... Yeah, let's get this guy.
Good old Malachi.
Here we go. Wow.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I wanted wide receiver, but then Cert kind of blew that plan up. And I said, okay, because my thinking was if I found a wide out, I was going to go wide receiver in free agency. And the reverse was true, which it turned out being. And now I have running back and I went wide receiver on free agency and landed somebody from Hanalei.
Guy's a bruiser, too. 6'1", 233.
Yeah. And so we'll be running a lot this year. Because last year, our quarterback did all the running. And I had to get fancy with the outside runs with the guys that had the crappy hole rig.
He's got great speed to the outside, 86.
Yep. Yeah, him and Blanchard should be a pretty good duo.
Blanchard. Let's
He's
look
got
at
good receiving skills.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have our hands full with you.
Ooh.
And I got a Snedeker.
Blanchard, some receiving.
And check out my wide receiver. Now I have 2 route running wide receivers now. And I hope a couple of mid-round picks I got pan out.
This guy here you picked up?
Yeah.
Nice. But his endurance, I don't like.
Yeah, as long as he can run the 113, I'm good. I don't care.
And what was the other wide receiver you wanted us to look at?
Oh, those are rookies, mid-round picks. My flyer picks.
No,
I
and
grabbed the
Newsom and
governor.
Leggins.
The California governor and Leggins.
Gavin Newsom. What?
I'll look at him through the bar thing. And
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
yeah.
Let's get rid of this guy. Let's look at...
Yeah, he was my late 431, I think. So,
Got the big play. His route running gets above 50. Same with that guy. If his route running actually hits above 50 there, he'll be fine.
Clay, did you hit the record button on this?
I have.
Usually you announce it, and I didn't hear you say it. So I'm like thinking, God, we're going to get a half hour through this or 45, and he's not going to record. It's going to be, damn.
No, I have.
Okay,
okay. Like those, like the 2 shows a while back that didn't record, period.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We sat talking for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and nothing recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are the best shows ever.
Yeah.
Of course they were.
Nobody can prove otherwise.
Just like Howie thinks it's better off that I be muted the whole show. So,
There
Not
is
the
some
whole
truth
show,
to that.
Just most of it.
yeah, half of it at least.
He was a good pick, Krieger.
I like
For
it.
sure. Yep.
He was I was just about to start sending out some messages to people to try to move up to get him when he came off the board. So he was the number 1 prospect on my board that I was hoping was going to fall to me, or that I was going to try to make a move to get him. So that was a great pick. I was a little jealous.
Rick pulled this pick during our talk when we were on
yeah.
here.
Yep. You picked Huntley while we were chatting too.
Yep.
Yeah, so
It was the fastest first round in the planet, ever that I ever recall.
Yeah. in this league, anyways.
Yeah,
moved
in this
real
league.
fast.
We actually got done on time.
Now, next up is Iowa. Iowa went for a running back.
Boy, running back. Artie.
Let's go to him. Now, he's
I
got
think
his quarterback he's thinking about as well.
is holding out quarterback.
Mhm.
Who's going to want something double the mortgage you paid?
I
I'm
know.
not as sold on Pilcher.
No, his receiving skills are lacking for a guy that I would get.
That
What?
high. I mean, he's going to be a good running back. I think.
Yeah.
And I think
He'll be
he's
decent,
20 years
but-
old, so that was part of the lure, too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be a decent running back, but I don't know about top 10 pick. I think there was other players at that point that you could have got more value out of.
Actually, the running back that Howie grabbed looks pretty good, too, but I went for a Malachi, and just because he just had that punt return, and he was a big boy, too.
Yeah, Brewster.
233
Bettis
that
up there.
has an agility score that good has got to be worth something.
Yeah, well, he's got $28 million in salary. I mean, in cap space. And what's his name's going to want a big
And he's-
boatload.
Yeah, he's going to want triple that.
Yes. So,
Oof.
exactly.
And the thing is,
Decisions.
if he's holding out, and if he doesn't sign him, he's going to play the old "I don't want to be here no more." There's no franchise tag in this league, so he's going to hit the market. And we're all going to go crazy with the bidding war.
I won't.
I won't either.
I won't either. I don't have enough money for that.
I don't have enough money, and he's too damn short.
Yeah. He's not short. One of the shortest. Let's see. Clay remembers home from the TFL. He got 25, 30, close to 30 touchdowns at him,
Yes.
and he was 5'8".
Yes.
And Hastings, before I traded him, he ended up posting close to 30 touchdowns. So height don't mean crap.
I can't say that height means anything to other people. I just know that every short quarterback I've ever had has been awful. So I won't do it to myself again. I'm not saying he's not worth it or that you can't get a short guy to play. I can't get a short guy to play. Of course, I can't usually get any quarterback to play. So
Too much work to make him perform like the other players.
Oh, red zone.
holy
Hey,
crap!
Bob.
There's a familiar voice.
Salesman's in the house.
Hey, well, see right here from the height or the help file, guys. It says height for some positions.
I know.
Height matters. Quarterbacks ideally can see over the rushing defensive lineman. Height matters more for quarterback than any other position.
But if you put him in pistol and shotgun, like like short quarterbacks like Flutie, they're okay.
Yeah, I can see them having further
Oh,
back
what's
in the
his,
line helping.
Since we've gone down this rabbit hole, click on Bolitnikov. See what style he is.
Okay. Hold
I
on.
say roll out.
Oh, wrong guy.
I think he's a short pass.
There we go.
Short passes.
Short passes.
All right, what's his offensive coordinator?
I'll grab that quick.
Did he switch to West Coast or something?
Ooh, let's see. Come on, load. He's Smash Mouth.
Which is long passes and
Right, which is
Actually, well, if he's slick, he can do a lot of pass protection and throw out a pistol and shotgun with this guy, and go Fs and zeros and ones, but make secondary guy deeper. That
Yeah,
way, that run for read defense, he'll hit the secondary guy once in a while.
Yeah,
So-
and he
so-
has been Smash Mouth through all of Blitnikov's career too.
right. So my question in the last chat that kind of didn't get answered or they got misunderstood is: do quarterbacks whose style doesn't mesh up with their offensive coordinator struggle? Is it not a height thing? It's a short pass quarterback playing in a long pass system?
Good question.
Is that why?
Well,
Is that why his numbers aren't up there?
I don't know. I've always tried to play short passes, but I've always played spread. And I remember reading on the forum some 6 years ago that if you're playing spread or like a West Coast, you want a short
Right, yeah.
pass style.
You want a short pass style, and the same with the air dot Perkins.
Like I said, I've never tested it, but that's just something I read and it kind of stuck in my mind, and I've always tried to stay with that if I could.
So, Howie, you think if he plays more short passing, that his quarterback might be better?
that maybe his numbers would be better. Maybe I'm not
but-
saying that would be.
but
the case.
mix
But I
the
think on the
short
flip
with the
side-
long.
But I think the flip side of that is if you put a bunch of plays in your playbook that are
Short
primary receiver
passes.
is short passing. Even if you have a longer passing second option,
It's not going to be
it's not going to be
solid.
a good fit.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a solid or good fit for the smash mouth playbook.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and Ben's
how
already
much will
said that
count
matters
against you as well?
Ben says that matters a lot. He's got
Yeah.
everything almost perfect on his plays.
Yeah, so I think there's I think every one of these things makes a difference in some way or another. It's just how much.
Right, and
Who
I think
knows?
it's and I think Quick says it best when he says there's not one big thing. There's lots of little things that add up to lots of bonuses or add up to lots of negatives. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
I agree on that. What you just said, Howie.
I think we can all agree though that if he goes to free agency, he's going to get a ridiculous
He's
amount
gonna
of
get-
money.
Oh,
from
he's gonna guess.
he's going to get
Whoever
a
has
bunch
the
of
most
money.
cap room right now is the winner for next year.
Yep.
Well, Ben will probably end up with this guy if he goes to free agency. I can tell you that right now. Ben's going to get this guy.
He's going to be in trouble, Jay-Z, because he has $101 million lost cap next season.
Oh yeah, he's screwed. Oh, no, that's this season, isn't it?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
this
this season. That's
Okay.
right. I read it
Yeah,
wrong.
next season's still 27, but he's got to sign him this
Now,
season.
has he made an offer to Bolitnikoff that got turned down yet?
I haven't
On
seen
the
it.
bells and whistles part.
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing
I don't
yet.
see how he could have enough cap room to even make an offer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only got 26 million he can add on to it.
Well, you can always do that minimum salary thing in the first year and just load up the rest of it.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
bonus
that's true.
and do something crazy, maybe get that to fly.
Mhm.
Or I would say trade him all you can to a team with tons of money. Get something because now you just
He's just gonna
lost
walk,
the
yeah.
farm.
Yep. Yeah, you can't let this guy just go to free agency with
Yeah,
no
that's-
compensation.
Yeah, trade him
I mean,
to somebody.
but, oof, that would be brutal.
Oh, he's got his running back. Let's see. Who's up next? Motown. Motown took a cornerback. Moontown.
We'll be
I
back
meant.
in Uno Momento, guys.
Moontown. I like this guy.
What's he look like on the draft screen, Clay?
Hold on. I have him here and up in draft screen.
Yeah, that's a guy I take. I think his zone's a little low for what I like to do, but you
For
know,
bump, which I like to do, he's awesome.
yeah, and that, for man, what I like to do, he's awesome. So
That's a cover two corner.
Yep, I would have. That'd be a guy I'd take if I needed a cornerback and he was available for sure.
Let's see his team.
The endurance bar is really nice too.
yeah, it looks like he
Do a
needed
lot.
corners.
He did. He's working on his defense. I like him. Nice pick.
What are you doing? Going down each pick?
Yes, we're up to Cap
So-
City.
My computer decided to do the blue screen deal, and there's nothing more irritating than when that happens and you have the volume turned up, so you get to listen to that drone tone for the whole 100% when it goes through that before it restores. Irritating. But I'm back.
Cap City took this tackle.
He's gonna be beast.
I don't like his run blocking. I'm not sure if he's going to hit past maybe at 54, I think, 55.
Ooh, that would have hurt.
That's what I think he might fall to.
Well, that would suck, but I don't see. I think he'll reach maybe the max on that.
What does his combines look like? I'm gonna click on him.
We talked about him in last chat.
Oh, there it is. Well, he's got the good
No,
40 for that.
Yeah, he's got the good 40. I think that run block's gonna probably max out.
The run blocking, yes.
The only thing I'd be a little worried about is the intelligence. He's only 37 intelligence.
Yeah, the average guy.
He's still averagely smarter than most of my offensive linemen. So
That is true.
I had to bypass smarts to pick up a left tackle. I had to pick one up from I think Cap City let him go. Somebody had one that had a nice run blocking bar. So that was my guy. I'll take him.
No,
And a chunk.
I'm glad that he came off the board because I had a running back on my draft board the whole time. But if he was available when I came up, I probably would have gone with him instead of who I took. Texas loves linemen.
Yep, good pick for 10th overall.
Next up is Augusta.
See, now,
Takes the tight end. Get red zone.
I'm just curious there, Clay. You're saying you don't think his run block will be where it looks like it is now?
No, I don't think his pass block.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm looking in the draft analyzer now. It took me a minute to pull it up. But I'm seeing his blue bars way beyond where the white bars are.
I think his pass blocking, not his run. His run would max out. I think his pass blocking might go up to 55.
But is
I'm seeing
Cap
both of
City
them. I'm seeing
it's a
them both,
passing
but-
team?
I
but
don't
I'm-
know.
I'm seeing-
Or is it, Rick?
I think he's kind of in limbo right now as to what he's doing there.
I'm curious, what are your scouts seeing? Because I'm seeing both run and pass and blocking strength and endurance all way beyond the white bars.
That's how my scouts have him. But his combine is showing his pass blocking not that high.
The agility drill.
So that's where it's like.
So
I'm
for your team, as much as you pass, you wouldn't like him. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
So-
for a pass team, yeah, you want your guy to withstand the swim move and all that crap.
So Augusta took this tight end.
And I think Saw said it was a need pick.
He needed a tight end bad enough to
Yeah.
take him in the top, 10?
Yeah,
That's
top
11. But that endurance is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But he can run a route, get downfield, and maybe that's all Brian wants.
Now, does tight ends need endurance?
Depends how many formations you use him in.
Right, and it depends on what you want to use them for.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just my experience with receivers and tight ends with low endurance is that they're never going to have 1,000 yards. Maybe if you can get them in there and enough things and they're good enough, but I just haven't seen it. So I don't think this guy's ever going to hit 1,000
Yeah,
yards.
he'd have to load up a lot of 113 tight end passes.
Right, and that's what if he were a Texas tight end, he'd be in the 113 and that's it. Even with that that run blocking.
Well, I know a
He
guy
would
that
be-
a couple of you guys know that uses tight ends exclusively in the red zone, so this guy'd be beautiful for him.
Mhm.
Flex D.
Yeah.
Because I agree on the wide receiver. I have a wide receiver, low endurance, barely on the field.
Or if you're not going to put him in the 113, but you're going to use him in the in the 221, the 230, then yeah, I mean he's got a great route running for that. A little short, but
You know who I'm talking about, Rick?
Yeah,
Flex?
yes. Flex likes tight ends, and he's also route running bar guy.
4 catches, 20 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a great game for his tight end.
Oh, it looks like Brian's got Roberto Joyner holding out as well. Huh.
I
Much
see
cap
that.
space he got.
He has 41.
Oh, he'll get him.
yeah, he'll
Yeah.
that guy signed.
Yeah.
In fact, I better turn the volume down because he's due to call.
Yeah, and he's got 60 players on the contract, so he can get them.
He can cut a few guys and squeeze them in somehow.
Oh, he's got Banks. I forgot about Banks.
Yeah, the Arizona would-be quarterback. Right?
Yes.
Magnificent.
Magnificent Banks.
Okay, the
I
first,
suggested, for the record, that nickname and he liked it.
I think that's the best quote of all time, but there was a good one today when Kodos commented that he thought that Bolitnikov's holdout might be a short holdout. Thought that was
I didn't miss that one.
Did it?
That's an honorable mention, man.
Cue all the short jokes right now, right?
That gets my honorable mention vote.
so
Look on Look on the bright side. Bolitnikov's the last guy that knows when it's raining.
That's
Yeah.
okay. He's at the height of his game, right?
Let's hope not.
Oh wow.
So
Or I
Atlanta,
should say he hopes to reach the height of his game. There it is.
Atlanta takes the first quarterback off the board.
I wasn't seeing this, but I know he had Harold Norris retire, and I think he needed a quarterback. So this might have been a reach pick, but I'm just like, really? At number 12, huh? Yeah.
Oh, he might be all right.
What does he look like anyway?
Well, he looks better on the left than he does on the right.
Yeah. Well, he's got the bars and the short passing type stuff. Long pass. I don't know. I like the ATSR, as I call it, accuracy, time, and sense rush read. Almost to grow to 50 if he gets them all.
Yeah, short passes. He is playing a spread offense, so
It could work. Take a
They
while to
should-
get there, though.
He should be better than either of the other two on the team. So
Let's see.
Option 1.
And so these are the two options for him.
either one looks really enticing.
And Jeff Gonad looks like the one he just drafted.
Hey, but if you're looking for a QB and you look at this guy's bars, I mean, yeah, it's not a sexy pick. He's not a top 5 guy. You're not drooling. But, I mean, if you need a QB, this looks like a solid QB to me. I love the timing and sense rush. Third down's decent. Accuracy's decent.
You know, all that's good for a West Coast short passing team right there. And he's got the bonus long bar if it gets there.
I don't know that it's a great pick, but I don't think it's a terrible pick either. I mean, it's a need pick.
No, right. If you need a quarterback, you drafted a quarterback. I think out of all the quarterbacks, this is probably the one that I would have taken.
Well, here's his wide receivers.
That'll work. One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this guy, his quarterback's fine then. He's got good targets.
I don't have a problem with the pick. I mean, you're not going to get a quarterback in the second round that's as good. So, you know, if you need a quarterback and there's nothing in free agency to go after, got to roll the dice.
Yeah, and there really wasn't much in free agency this year.
Well, I agree with Red Zone. I like the sense rush and the timing.
Yep.
Okay. Next up is Hanalei.
No, Texas.
Oh, I missed Texas. Did I miss
You missed
Texas?
the bunt.
And for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Texas. Okay, Howie, here's your pick. Why don't you
Love
tell
him.
us about him? Let me get to your team.
So I was surprised this guy made it this far. He was the number 2 guy that I had on my board. I wanted Krieger more because I really needed a guy that was going to be able to return punts and kicks. That's really where kind of a weak spot that I have. So I figured he would fit that role nicely. But with this guy, I like his whole. I mean, I love his whole recognition. I love his speed to the outside, his breakaway speed. All that looked great. His third down catching and his route running were also like fantastic. So
Yeah, and good endurance, which
Yep.
And good endurance.
tough to find, so.
He's going to be
And
on the field.
I just hope that the endurance sticks because Luke Dunlap for me had almost an identical bar profile when I drafted him, and his endurance took a nosedive. To like he had like 0 endurance.
That's weird.
And
Do we know what causes that?
I don't know.
Bad luck.
Yeah.
Bad luck.
My only thing would be that he's 25 already and he's 71% developed.
Yeah.
Well, that just means maybe you'll get, he'll be good right out of the gates and might only get
Ready to
5,
play
6
right
seasons
now.
out of him. But
Put him in
I
there.
only
week
get
one
5,
and
6
give him
seasons,
30
but-
carries.
And
Yeah,
with-
run him into a ground like
and
Oh, that's-
since he's only 71% developed, he might go past those bars that we're looking at right now.
Yep.
So, but no, my plan is to run him into the ground.
Yeah, I would.
By the time his first contract renegotiation comes up, he might be a 38 rated running back. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just pound.
No,
Yeah, this
38 rated, and asking
300
for
million
30
over
million.
5 years.
Yep.
Yeah, how I can see your endurance concerns because his broad jump was just average. It wasn't
Yeah.
red or blue, just average. So I can see that
But isn't the broad
affecting.
jump? Isn't the broad jump only affect the endurance on like offensive and defensive line? I thought broad jump
No.
for running backs and wide receivers and such was for their kick return and punt return skills.
Well, it plays into that too, but it plays into their endurance.
Yeah, it's third down and endurance. So your third down running and your endurance is for running backs for broad jump.
I mean, even if it takes a hit and goes to halfway, I can still make that work because I don't necessarily need him to be a third down running back or a third down back. I can find a guy for that, or just not throw the ball out of the backfield, which is fine. But with lungless Luke Dunlap, with his endurance being 0, I couldn't get him the ball. Like I'd put him in for the 1-1-3 set, and that was it, and he'd still only get 8 carries a game. I just could not figure out a way to keep him on the field, and that was one of the biggest frustrations that I had. It wasn't until I picked up a running back, Jeremiah Farley, that I ended up trading to Rick, that I really had to kind of have that 1-2 punch where I figured out I had an every down back that could pound the ball, and then I'd use Dunlap as a change of pace to throw out of the backfield in some sets, and that ended up working out well. So if this guy can keep that endurance bar up, I think I'll get a
If you
good
can get him
wide
to run the big 3, 113, 122, 212 a year, you're great. You're good.
I don't even need him. I don't even need him in the 212s. I've got other guys that I use for that, and the 212 is where I run a lot of with my fullback. So
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to be using Brinkley as a running?
he's still going to be running the ball. He had a little bit of a down year, sophomore slump, but I didn't game plan well for him this year.
Okay, Grim, maybe you remember this. Wasn't Quicksand on one of these shows talking about endurance, and he said there's a difference? He said if you have a 3 endurance, that's a true number, but if it's a 0 endurance, it could actually be a negative number. You remember that conversation?
I remember something slightly to that effect.
Basically, he said that if it shows 0, you don't know what it is. It might be actually negative. If it's a 3, you've got a real number.
Yeah, I think.
But
Bird
maybe
just
that's
ran
the
for a
problem with
smoke.
the guy you're talking about, Howie, is he had a 0, but it might have been even worse, and we just didn't realize because 0 is as low as it'll show us.
Maybe.
If this guy ends up with, even 30 or 40 endurance, you're going to get
Exactly.
20 miles out of him.
Yeah, exactly. He just can't be a 0.
Well, and
A
honestly,
0
I mean,
would suck, but I don't think that's going to happen.
We need,
Yeah,
to ask,
no.
we need to ask Quick that question, or maybe if he listens to the video, he'll reply in the thread underneath it and explain it better. But I kind of remember him going over that one night, and I think that's what he said.
all I know is if you can get a 79 potential rated running back at number 13 in the draft, you made a value pick.
Yeah, I think
it's a
good
great
pick.
pick.
I think it's a pretty good pick, too, yeah.
Same
If you
here.
don't want him, Howie, I'll take him off your hands. What do you want, a 4th?
A fourth and a 7.
Okay. Right, post it up.
Ooh, getting a little rich.
I'll prove it. I'll confirm.
So Fairbanks takes a defensive end.
I love this guy.
Here we go. Let's get to Fairbanks. Yes.
That dude's gonna be a monster.
I
And that
like him.
punishing hitter. Oh yeah, I love that guy.
And he's on a 4-3 defense, right?
See, here's where
Fine.
it changes because now you get the 14th pick in the draft. You're not spending a top 10 pick or a top 5 pick in a monster like this. You're going to have a heck of a player to take him instead of this guy.
Yeah. No, this guy's gonna be a beast.
Well, let's look at his team right now. His offense seems to be put together well. Not bad at all. And now let's look at his defense.
Yeah, he needed that guy.
Yep. Although he didn't necessarily need a defensive end. He's now got 4 very solid defensive ends.
He may be taking best available.
Yeah, we can't argue with it. I mean,
And if you have 4-3 team, because I see some inside linebacker, Will guys, I think he'd be too short to 4-4-3. He get or 3-4. He get run over.
he might just not change the positions when he picks guys up because he doesn't have any weak side linebackers.
Yeah, he's a
five
3-4.
strong side, so he's a 3-4.
Yes.
Then
Oh.
he might be a wide, big body wide, big body.
That I'd be playing that guy at weak side linebacker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
he's-
with that
yeah,
zone
that
Zone
coverage.
defense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There it is.
No, that'd be a weak side linebacker in my defense for sure.
Have
Yeah.
you ever done
I
that
would-
and not done
yes.
a position change?
No, I skip the position change on that. I leave him defensive end
And just play
and
them.
See, and I'd
And
actually
wide.
switch him just because a defensive end. Well, at least come time for re-signing, a 72 rated defensive end.
sometimes they take a big hit backwards though.
I don't think. I mean, if you wait till he's got that 9, for the defense, I switch guys between defensive end and linebacker all the time.
Mhm.
As long as their height, weight, and their bars make sense, it doesn't seem to usually be too much of a hit. And linebackers are just cheaper when it comes to that, to the contract. I wouldn't mind moving him to linebacker.
Rick, I did what you did, but I kept him. I put him on a weak left outside linebacker, but I didn't change the position. I kept
Right.
him
I
as defensive
did
end.
that with Cotto Critch. He was he was labeled a weak side linebacker, and he was about a 30-something rate, and I popped him to left defensive end, and he boomed to 55, and I kept him as my weak side linebacker.
Yeah, and I
Didn't get
had
a whole
guy-
bunch of stuff, but
I had a guy, Sutter, that I had playing at weak side linebacker when I was a 3-4, and he was only, I think, a 52 rated guy. Didn't look that great in terms of linebacker. I signed him for dirt ass cheap, played him for a couple seasons, and then I decided I was going to have to get rid of him. I moved him to defensive end. He pumped up to like a 68, and I ended up trading him for a first. So, but money wise, they'll take a lot less linebacker. It seems like.
This is a good pick. I like this guy.
No, I love that pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Love that pick.
Yep, especially since he's 3-4.
I'd have been fine with him in a 4-3, leaving him defensive end too.
Oh yeah, that too.
well, he's the right size for that defense.
Yeah, he's a little bit big for a weak side linebacker, but
Yeah.
he'll play.
I think
fine.
weak side says 260 is the cutoff. I think off the top of my head, 262 seems to ring a bell.
Yep. But he might be able to lose weight too. You never know.
That's
See
true.
what happens in training camp.
Yeah, let's see if he
Yeah, I
takes
gotta-
him down. Okay. So that
Yeah,
was
Rick,
him.
you were right. 262 and 261 for weak
Well, that's
side
scary.
and
I got
3-4.
that shit memorized. That's not right.
Yeah, right.
Shit.
Nerd.
Don't mess
Well,
with Grimmer. He knows
I've been
his
playing
weights.
3-4 too much.
Don't mess with Grimmer. He knows his weights.
Oh, I'm cheating. I'm looking up the.
Oh, you
I'm looking
it
up the
before you-
page.
Okay.
I
And
got
I
the page
took it
up
off the
right
top
now.
of my head. So
Yeah,
Ex-con needed a quarterback.
Don't like this pick. Third down and timing. Boo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Me and Bob agree when it comes to timing. I just you want timing, but I mean, you can get anybody.
Third
to
down
work
bar
if
can
you
kill
play
you,
them
too.
right, But
I'm on the
Third down
same.
ball
I'm
is
in the
huge.
same boat with you guys with the timing.
just heave the ball, and if you can complete 50%, you're winning at that.
I think timing matters most when you're playing short passes. The spread, the West Coast,
Yep.
Earnhardt Perkins. I'm playing.
I know
I
that was big
struggled
for
with
years.
Shea. I had Shea in the spread for years, and for a number of years there, and he was just terrible.
Yep.
But I picked up the Air Coryell, went to a more of a medium and long passing game, and he's flourished. So depending on what kind of offense this guy goes in, maybe you can make him work real well.
he's
Third
going
down
into
bar
Smash
is gonna
Mouth.
really hurt him, don't you think?
What's that?
The third down bar is going to really
Yeah,
hurt
the
him.
third down bar. I don't know that there's any.
I mean, you can try and get receivers that have high third down bars to offset that, but
Yeah.
I think it starts with the QB. That scares me, that low third down.
What scares me the most is that he's so low developed. I mean, you never know if any of those bars are going to pan out. I mean, if he ends up staying where he's at in the red, he's fucked.
I'm surprised he didn't get anyone in free agency.
I-
His team is stacked. If you look at its team,
I think there was only one QB in free agency really worth messing with. Didn't Grimmer sign him?
Amos Taylor. I don't like him so much, and he didn't have a stage that he preferred. So I'm just all right. I'm just going to kind of go all out on this guy and see if anyone else bids on him, and then lower my price as the time goes along. Nope. Next stage he fucking signed. So now he's making $19 million a year. It's like, fuck me. That kind of blew up in my face.
And
It's an offer
Harlem's
he couldn't
got no
refuse.
money. They I don't know that
Yeah,
he
he
can go
doesn't.
after anybody in free agency.
Damn, he can't even trade for Belinknikov.
Oh, and Cooper Meyer's holding out too. Look at that. That's not good.
And
He is
he
getting
got
old,
done.
though. He is getting old. I'd probably just let him hold out, let him come back, and then let him go.
I think what Chris said is probably right. If this guy goes into something like the 15 bench, he's going to be okay if he does something like an Eric Coryell or even a Smash Mouth. But if he tries
And
to
he's
West Coast
behind Miles Martin anyway. So
he's going to
he's-
struggle. He's not going to throw a short pass as well.
But yeah, Harlem is playing Smash Mouth, and he does have a long pass style, so maybe that'll help out.
It
play
might work
action.
out.
Maybe he does well for him. He wouldn't do well for me.
Okay.
what's the starter look like? What's Miles look like? It's out of morbid curiosity.
Who?
Miles Martin.
Yeah, let's see what
Miles
he looks
Martin.
like.
I took him out before. This is him.
Oh.
Eh.
Oh. the bars that are missing on the quarterback around this guy. Or almost,
We got third down passing anyway.
Right.
Now it's too bad you can't game plan it to have a guy come in on third down as quarterback.
I know, wouldn't that be cool? Have the Wildcat for your quarterback and have, but yeah, we're stuck with
Of course,
One
Martin's only 5'10",
def-
so again, I don't like it.
Listen, it's not a problem if you just get first down, second down, first down. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Just don't ever
Let
have a
yourself get to third down, you'll be
There you
fine.
go.
Don't get to third down and you're fine.
You have a game plan that'll do that, Howie?
I'm working on it.
that's the $1 million game plan.
I'd like to have it when you get done with it. If you can send me a copy.
Or listen, if you get a running back that averages 4 yards a carry, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards,
There
that's
it is.
12 and a first down.
Never have to throw the ball. See the Woody Hayes offense.
So Hanley
Yeah, this-
takes this linebacker. Is it this guy?
The Autobot pick.
Colby Cosell.
So now, was he around for the draft? Do you think he made this pick? Was this just a list? What do you think?
He was registered for the draft. I gotta believe that if he's registered for it, he was doing it.
Be interesting to see if he pops week 2.
And he really doesn't look too bad. He's just not going to be much of a run defender.
Yeah, I would like to think that Hanley didn't pick this pick with all the linebackers that went in the second round that look way better.
Yeah, but Hanley's got a real habit of picking guys that don't look all that great, and they end up being
And they
freaking
pop
super
week
studs
2,
after
yeah.
after PS2.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got that hidden formula down.
He's got $178 million.
Yeah, he can.
Maybe he needs
But
Biletnikoff.
he's got only 34 players on his team.
That's fine. He can pick up undrafted free agents and get them to all be 50 rated guys anyway.
I don't think he signed anybody last stage.
No,
I'm going to go look right now.
no, I suppose not. Doesn't look like it.
If not, we're going to see a big wave tomorrow.
Prior to preseason week 1, you'll see that the game
Yep.
will sign up to 60 players, and you'll get them all at veteran minimum. So that'll save his cap and fill his roster. Now, will it be any good? I don't know.
No, Hanley signed nobody in that last stage yesterday.
So it's looks to me like maybe I don't know. Like I said, I find it hard to believe he registered for the draft and not make the picks or at least set up a list.
I remember years ago.
Oh, wait.
Yoda said that he was in like 10 or 12 leagues at the time. You know, he was running 2 or 3 of them. I mean, he was just crazy busy with FOF. He said there were a lot of times where he'd get busy with something, didn't have the time. He'd fill out the positions he was worried about, sign the free agents he really wanted, get the nuts and bolts in, and just let the team hit preseason 1 and fill out the rest of the roster on purpose. He said a lot of times they'd sign better players than he could find anyway.
Yeah.
Randall guard. Okay, got him. I like this guy.
Andy Boudreaux.
Yep, I wanted him.
Yeah, what's
I
not
wanted
to
him.
love?
I just needed him to fall a couple more places.
Smart.
15% developed is a little low, but
But everything looks beautiful.
the bars look nice.
I've grabbed a guard like that in the USFL, and he looks awesome.
Yeah, my only issue with him is he's 24. By the time his bars fill out, he's going to be 27-ish. You know. But then, yeah, I don't know. I still love him. I'd have taken him.
Yeah, look at his line. His offensive line. Did a nice job with it.
Disgusting.
Oh, he's going to run the ball. There's no question about it.
Yeah, he's going to protect his quarterback and run the ball.
What kind of cohesion does he got on his O-line now?
Let's take a look.
It's going to be pretty low. Most of the guys came in 2106 to this year.
He is right here.
Yeah, middle of the... Oh, no, that's terrible. That's terrible.
54 good.
He might still struggle to run, but he'll try.
Yeah, and that's not going to show for this year yet. That's going to show for last year. So
Yeah,
it'll
but
get a
picking
little
up
bit
a-
better this year.
Picking up a rookie, if he starts that rookie, if he starts Boudreaux, it's going to jack it back down again.
Yeah, the bulk of his all the guys he signed, no one earlier than 2106. So,
Yeah.
well, that's what he's talking about. He had to get his O line up to snuff. So,
Yeah, a few seasons from now, he's going to have just a monster line with great cohesion, and that's going to be just wonderful.
You just run people over.
Yeah, I look forward to that. That's dripping with sarcasm.
That's right. He's in your
I was gonna say,
division.
he's in your division, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're looking forward to him just running people over, including you.
Yep.
Because his
And when
his-
Arizona gets up to snuff, we'll be running people over too.
It's kind of like saying you want to die by lethal injection or firing squad.
Because his team was mostly defense last season. Slams.
Yeah. Yeah, his defense was stellar, although he's going to lose some of that here soon. Some of them are getting a little older.
yeah, but he had a great defense last year.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of money to hire more people.
We had the number one run defense last year, but I don't see that lasting once his line gets good. I think we're going to be in deep shit.
Yep, and Sheps is young. He's going to be there for quite a while as running back.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not going to be fun.
So let's go to Fredericks. He picked up the tackle. Now this tackle.
No endurance guy.
Okay, are you guys big on endurance for your linemen?
I like it, but
I would prefer it, but like I said, I get a bunch of low endurance guys that are pretty good, and I'll just swap them out when they get tired. You know,
Yeah, I won't pass a guy completely because he's got low endurance, but if it's a toss-up, I'm obviously going to take the guy that's got some.
I heard someone mention that the later in the game it goes, the tired they become. They don't do so well. So you're in the fourth quarter, and they'll give up more sacks, or they won't get a lot of run blocks.
Start picking up their penalties.
and honestly, the guy that Bordeaux took right after this pick, I would have took him instead.
Then this guy, then Longwell.
Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, over Longwell for sure.
Oh,
The
Archie?
next guy's
Yeah,
way better.
Yeah,
You know,
Archie. I didn't even see that guy.
I guess it depends on, you can't really move. I mean, I guess if you're looking to move a guy to tackle, if you needed a tackle, I guess I can see why you might go after this guy. Although I'm not opposed to taking guards and starting them to tackle, as long as you don't actually change their position. But if you really needed a tackle, maybe.
Oh,
He's doing good at guard.
Yeah, he's been building his line. So, it works. Still a good pick.
Yeah, not bad. Not
So-
bad for 18.
This guy here.
It was a great pick.
Yep.
Yeah. This was the guy actually I was going to pick. It was the two wide receivers or this guy. Or I would have traded out of my spot.
I don't know if I'd have taken this guy up at what was it, number 6 that you picked?
not that.
Oh, he's going to be pretty good. I might actually guy that size, I might just play him at center.
Yeah,
Yeah,
300 pounds.
Left. He's a good sized left guard too, though.
No, that's it, Grim. We would have played him at center.
Yep. little short for the left guard position, but I've done fine with a 5'11" guy at center who's 300 pounds, a little bowling ball. So
That's something that Bolitnikov needs. I can see.
get a center that's like 5'9", 300 pounds.
You don't want
awesome.
You don't want a 6'5" guy who's like can't even see over him in the pre-snap.
And there's another way to play the game. Somebody should just take all the guys under 6 foot and make a team.
Yeah, right.
The Mighty Mites.
The Mighty Mites.
The midgets.
And if they
Petition
start,
Ben to
and
see if you could change your name.
And if they start winning bowls, everyone's going to start taking guys under 6 feet.
Exactly. This takes one guy to pull it off.
All right, T-Zac, there's your next chore. Figure it out.
Yeah, right.
But
Nope.
Bordeaux put together a good offense. Look at his offense. He just needs that quarterback. But Freeman, he did well with him last season.
Yeah, Freeman played pretty damn good last year. 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's not bad at all.
Played
He's
very
got a
well for him.
supreme offensive line. He's got
And you notice he has a low
receivers.
timing bar. So cue the mock. Whatever he's doing, Mock's got to copy that.
Man, I won a bowl with that guy.
Yeah.
Once
I
we got to
traded,
the playoffs, he
I
tore
traded
up.
him to you so you could.
Yep. Thanks for that.
Red Zone, you here?
I'm back.
Here we go. We got Freeman here. Won a bowl. Had a passing rate of 96.5. Has a 4 timing bar.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying I can't do it. Like we talked about, Chris said it. If you put him in, what kind of offense did you run the year you won the bowl with him, Grim?
Spread.
You ran a spread and won a bowl with that quarterback.
Yes, sir.
4 timing bar.
Yes, sir.
You still have that game plan.
I'm mostly still running that game plan, but just a few plays swapped out.
You're not ready to share it just yet. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Easily
Well,
copied with 4 game logs.
Yes.
I've long said that Williamsburg has a real serious case of the Belichick's, where it just doesn't matter. He's got a golden horseshoe up his ass. I mean, it doesn't matter what's on his team. Every year he's like, I'm going to suck, and every year he's in the playoffs, taking his shitty teams to the bowl. So I don't put much stock in him doing something with Freeman. He's got.
I said it last show. It's the try hard mentality, man. I go in with my shit roster and I do the best I can with them. So
Wow.
I'm nowhere near Julio, but I'd like to think I'm trying to do the same thing Julio does. You get your kind of shit team and you pull the best out of what you can do with them,
Yeah, I can get away with that a little bit on defense, but I cannot get away with it at quarterback or receiver. It just doesn't work.
I've still got a long way to go in terms of figuring out how to make things work right. I mean, I've been playing a long time, but there's a lot of years or seasons that I played where I didn't put much thought into what I was doing, lots of rexing. But Grim here, he figured out how to make shit teams work. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, you sit down at the beginning of an offseason, you say, okay, I want to do this, 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 and this. And then you start making bids on free agents. Well, you don't get those 2 players. And then in the draft, you don't get the guys you were looking for. Now you're taking the best of what's left. You're not going to take nobody. And those guys don't fit what you started out trying to do. So now you've got to adjust again. I mean, there's no way to avoid that unless you get every single player you target. And very few people do that.
Yeah. Well, and in all honesty, in all seriousness, I like ripping on Grim, but what I found he's really good at is picking the right players to fit what he wants to do with them. Even if they look like they're not good players, they do exactly what he needs them to do.
See,
that's what I try.
And I think that's a great statement because there have been some times on Ben's draft board where my draft class will be rated like 25, 26, somewhere near the bottom. But I got guys that I really liked because they fit what I want to do, and they were role players and they fit with it. So
Well, that draft rating, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. That draft rating is based on where you drafted them, what their value is, their overall rating, and their value in comparison to other players based on those same parameters. That doesn't necessarily mean the bars fit your scheme.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, no, and I rarely get above 20 in the draft thing there. So
I mean, I loved my draft picks, and I was surprised that I landed at number 3.
but you also see too people that have 15 picks tend to end up higher.
Yes, because I think it's skewed towards how many guys you get that are, those the high ratings. So you have 5 picks in the top, in the top 37 picks or so, you're gonna find yourself at the top of that just because their high end rating of 76, 79, 66 is going to be so much higher, and you've got 6 of those, as opposed to the guys that just have their regular, their 7 rounds, the first, second, third, where you might get a 70, and then you'll get a 55, and then a 50, and then a 44.
But it's also how to use the guys too. You have teams where their roster is stacked, but they're not making the playoffs. And then you have teams that have run-of-the-mill guys, like you were just saying, C-Max, with Grimm, that he knows how to use those guys to get everything out of him and make the playoffs.
I think another thing that skews that ratings list is the fact that a lot of guys, in this league in particular, a lot of people are working on that chemistry stuff, which will cause them to take guys that are maybe lower rated but are chemistry fits.
Yep.
And with Grimm, like I said, he's always looking for that chemistry fit. Plus, he's looking for guys that have the bar profile for a specific thing that he wants them to do. So they might look like a guy that's kind of a reach pick, but they fit perfectly into what he's trying to do.
Yep.
I think I was having this conversation the other night, and what I said was I think in IHOF, in some leagues, you've got maybe half the GMs that are always looking at free agency and bidding hard. Maybe half the GMs that are always drafting hard. Maybe half the GMs that are game planning hard. In IHOF, most, if not all, of the GMs they're awake on draft day. They're looking to move up. They're going to make.
Oh yeah.
No,
the last, especially probably.
You don't have anybody sleeping, so it's harder. Whether people realize it or not, it's much harder when everyone is participating.
Yeah, and I think Clay doing these shows has really started engaging more people and getting more people excited about the league.
Yeah, we talked about that last show. It's really been a good shit, especially like the last 3 or 4 seasons. The engagement is fucking outrageous in this league.
Right. No other league can boast that, by the way, because a lot of them are just going through the motions.
Yeah, I like RZB. RZB's got a lot of active owners too, but I think with Ben's tools that he's got here with the website and stuff, and the fact that you can at a glance see chemistry type stuff, and there's a lot more functionality to it. I mean, it really makes it that much more fun to play.
Yep.
And I think it adds a lot, and it keeps people engaged.
No, and that was kind of always my problem with RZB is I didn't have the tools that I've been playing with for 6 years already. So it's just like, I don't want to look in game for that. I just want to go click on my team, or I want to click on that draft sheet and this shit up there and see what color everybody is and click on them. It'll go right to Conscriptor and I can add them to my list. And, so
it definitely takes a lot of the work out of the whole chemistry stuff when you have those nice, easy tools to access.
But also, doing these chats, I know I've learned a lot. There's things that I've been picking up and stuff like that. And I guess people who've been watching these shows are picking up things because I'm seeing quarterbacks with the timing bar being taken.
Yep.
A lot more than before.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
Now there's none left, man.
Guys, I'm going to use the restroom. This is the next pick, which was from, what do you call it again?
Houston.
Forbes. Yep. That's a guy that I was hoping would drop one more. He was a chemistry fit and
I'll be right back.
Yep.
Well, if you like chemistry, I got a wonderful spreadsheet you might like.
A spreadsheet?
You can grab a whole draft class and it pulls up their chemistries and give you a roster to see all your blues, pinks, greens, yellows that you want.
No shit, huh?
Yeah, I'm known as a pretty good spreadsheet guy. Bob will test that one.
He's being modest at pretty good. No, he's a wizard. He's a wizard's what he is.
Yeah, I've never used any kind of spreadsheets. I don't even use draft analyzers. So
Grim, let me put it this way: if you want to know like how many players in the league have blonde hair, he's got a way to put a spreadsheet together.
Nice.
Because I helped a guy who was doing chemistry, and he said, "I was clicking on this fucking game for hours." And I said, "Use this and tell me how long it takes you to find the guys." He said, "Oh shit, there's everybody right there." I said, "There it is."
Yep.
I'll save you 1,000 clicks a day.
Yeah, right. Well, like I said, that draft thing that Ben's got where it shows the colors of every position and you can just click on them and go to Conscriptor to add them, that really, that really helps out a lot. But nope, Forbes is the guy I wanted. But it appears that his route running might not be where it needs to be at this point. But a lot of useful alder bars too, you know.
Yeah, the route running could be a problem, but that also could be a benefit if he's got a lesser guy with a big route running bar that'll suck up the double teams. You know, that could mean Forbes could be just a monster, really. And what pick was this? Like number 20? 20?
Yeah, this was 20. But you know, his
that's a
soul
great
score
pick
and
at
his position drill would suggest that bar might pop a little bit.
Yep.
So,
well, and if you look at the the left side there, I mean, it looks like it's going to be in the 40 to 65 range anyway. You know, this bar up on the right.
Okay, I'm back.
He's a pretty good drafter. I mean,
Yeah, I think his. I'd be willing to bet his route running bar hits 50.
and also we got to look at.
On Forbes, are we speaking of?
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
Forbes. Yep.
So you think
Only-
it's going
only
to go up?
knock-
You think it's going to go up to past 50?
Well, he's got the
But hit 50.
Oh, the position.
Well,
and,
the shit thing is here.
yeah, position drill, the Soulsmic,
Soulsmic.
you know, and then if you look on the left, I mean, just in the blue bars there, it looks like, you know, it's got potential to get up to the 65 range. Who knows?
Yeah,
You know,
here's
I
the
mean,
problem I'm having. Clay has a great offensive scout, and we're seeing Forbes through his scout's eyes on the right.
Is that no? I don't know if that's actually. I think that everybody would see that. I think that's based on the league scout that sees that. I don't think that's his. I don't think that's,
Well, I can check it out for myself.
yeah,
here.
look
I
on
got the
yours
game
and see
open.
if your guy sees it the same way.
All right.
I think
That's
what
another
Clay's showing
question.
is what Clay Scout sees. I don't think you're seeing the league scout.
Do we all see the same combine scores?
We all
Yes.
see the same
Combine.
combine scores, but the bars are different based on what your scout sees.
Got it. Okay.
And your scout's very good, so I think we're seeing a better look from your scout than maybe somebody else would be seeing.
Yeah, Chris. I'm seeing 7 to 45 on
Okay,
his,
so
and
it
I've
is-
got
so
a
it
way
is-
worse. So that's
Yeah, so-
that's
okay,
looking
good.
at Clay's guy.
That answers that question. Yep.
Yes, this
Yeah, I
is
thought-
all Clay scouting on the right side.
Yeah,
Which
then
is
he
why-
might be in trouble.
Well, that's why Ben is always talking about scouts. I mean, he's always got the best scouts. So, you know, you talk trade, and his guy sees them a lot better than you do. So you're
Yeah, I
telling me
just
you think
wasn't
he's-
sure if
I,
in
I
this-
told him I thought a guy was worth a fourth. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, I'll tell
He
you
was
what.
not a very good
Ben
scout.
also
Yeah, I
also
just
said
wasn't
not too
sure
long
if the
ago.
pre-training camp thing where you right click was your guy or not. But now, like I said, that answered the question. I thought that the pre-training camp was the league scout that you saw.
Yeah. No, Ben also said not too long ago that people are putting too much emphasis on their head coaching scouting.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yep, I think it doesn't head coach. I don't know. I think offensive.
it's more discipline and interviews
Yeah.
for head coach.
Yeah, I don't know how much they actually play into it.
Scouting's your coordinators.
Other than maybe the kickers, is it the kickers that they have some?
I think
That
that's,
I
you
think
up?
that's the assistant
yeah, that's the
The
assistant.
assistant has the kickers. Okay.
for the kickers for
Special
special
teams.
teams. Okay, so we were here. Okay, safety. Here you go, Grim.
I don't think he's going to be. I mean, you got a really shitty defensive coach, so
I
or
have
scouting.
Yeah, I have a shitty scouting for the defense.
So he's probably going to
Punching
look.
hitter looks pretty low to me. That's a bad sign to me.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, when I look at him on mine, I wasn't nearly as impressed. I don't think his zone's going to be where I want it to be for him to play strong safety. He may just be a big fucking cornerback. So, but yeah, I'm showing his run defense 25 of 68. That's fine. His man defense 24 of 79. Zone defense 17 of 52. Bump, I don't use bump, so that don't fucking matter to me. Play diagnosis 20 to 63, and that interception bar is going to be great, and endurance is going to be great. So if that zone kicks up over 50, I'll be able to use them at strong safety where I really need a strong safety. And if not, and the man defense stays high, I'll just play him at corner,
Are you guys using the trade screen?
yes, your
Yes.
little secret that you taught us.
Yep.
You get the credit for that, Red Zone.
But yeah, that Clay is showing his endurance like super shitty.
52.
But again, really bad scout, and I got a decent scout at defense. So
Yeah, I'm seeing. I mean, looks a lot better to me than he does on what
Yeah.
play he's showing here.
Any defensive player, guys, they're going to look like shit because of my scout.
So what are you showing for endurance, Clay?
52.
I'm showing 59 to current, 72 future in the trade screen.
Yeah, I'm showing 68 to 88.
Mine is 52 stopped right there, like a static bar.
Yeah, I see a high interception bar. I see a real high bump bar. The zone's probably going to top out if he hits it at 55, but
Yeah, I
that's
see
terrible,
15 to
man.
57 there.
That's not terrible.
No, and I hope, because he's got good position drill and a good soul score, that pops a little bit, but it's probably going to just average just above 50. And again, I can
Put
use
it
him
this
at
way, if you're
strong
using him-
safety with that.
If you're using him as a strong safety and you run a lot of cover one buzz, he'd be perfect.
Yep.
If
Because
you're
he'd be
using
playing
cover
man
two
in
or
the
cover three, well, then maybe he might not be so good.
Yeah.
What's your
Nope,
PD on him?
My what?
Play diagnosis.
I'm showing 20 to 63.
Showing 16 to 44.
17 to 50.
Yeah, that's what it should be. I have 14 to 36, but your soul score is a 36, so it should be much higher.
Yeah, my scouting's 80 on my defensive coordinator, so.
Yeah, so your guy, that's the one that should be showing this.
Yep, I think he's going to be useful. He was kind of I was going to draft freaking that guard that Fort Wayne got, and then, the wide receiver and whoever else was there, another guard went. So all those guys got taken off my list. I'm looking, I'm like, fuck. The only other guy left is the guy that MIJB picked, I think, the next pick.
The tackle.
Yes. So he was the only other guy on my list. I quickly went in there and looked around. I'm like, all right, Bryson Lane's still there. Let me just grab him instead. So
Are you happy with him?
I am right now. I'll let you know more after PS2.
Yeah, really.
All right, well, look out for it. Colorado.
It's like playing the lottery. They're all good till 7 o'clock.
Pizer took this defensive tackle. Okay, let me get to Colorado.
Bobby Burnett.
I'm just wondering if that's a need pick because his endurance is a little low.
Again, guys, my guy, my scout's showing him like shit. What do you guys see?
I don't think he looks that bad, really. He's got that pass rush strength. His endurance is the only thing I kind of have an issue with, but I don't think that's a bad pick.
I'd have issue with endurance, and honestly, if you look at he's already got 5 defensive tackles on the roster. So I don't know if this was an auto pick or if he's got. How big is he? 6 foot, 300 pounds.
He's 21% developed, and I'm seeing 19 current and 74 on technique. So he got a long way to go to reach that to top out there.
Yeah, like I said, he's
That's
got
a lot of yellow.
5 decent defensive tackles on his roster already. So it makes me think this was an auto pick.
What's
Yeah,
his
I don't like it based on what he's got on his team already. That's for sure.
Yeah,
It might be a auto pick. Yeah.
well, he looks pretty good to me. 98 pass rush strength already, 14 to 65 run defense. PRT is 19 to 76. But that endurance, again, 34, 38, man. And I hate fucking defensive line guys with low endurance, mostly because I've been struggling with them for a number of years now. So
Just seems like an odd pick based on what his roster's already got on it. Unless some of those guys are getting expensive and he plans on letting them go after a season. But I think you're right. That looks like an auto type thing. Definitely wasn't a need.
yeah, but then an auto pick, you would think with all the defensive tackles, he wouldn't auto pick one of those. Which is weird.
Yeah, who knows?
And I like the next pick.
So do I.
You got a nice pick there.
Yeah.
I hated this guy.
I'm going to smoke quick. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
I was surprised to see him sitting there.
Me
I mean,
too.
the punching hitter's a little bit low, but it's not like crazy low.
Oh,
it's
it's
not
not that
going
high.
anywhere from where it's at. It looks like
Heward,
it's maxed
down
already.
at the bottom there. No,
but I
further
mean-
down. Heward.
The interception bar is nice. The endurance is solid. He may even contribute to special teams. He's got decent coverage bars. He's 51% developed, and looking at the bars, that looks about right. So I mean, if he hits all those top numbers, 50 zone isn't great, but for a corner, who cares? Unless you're playing a ton of cover 3 and 4, I mean, I think he's going to do fine.
Yeah, 3 years ago, I was really, really, really unhappy with my secondary, and I said I was going to rebuild the secondary, and I kind of stayed focused on that. And in the last 3 years, I've picked up, I think, some real nice secondary to build around. I mean, I got Cielo a few years back, and then last year I got Braxton Collins. This year I picked up Heward, and I think that Ross guy will be okay for a third corner. But
definitely, when you picked this guy, that's what I thought of, because I know you wanted to get your defense secondary in place. I like this pick of yours.
Yeah, we were 31st against the pass last year. It was just, and that was with a partially improved. But yeah, like I said, between Collins and Heward and Cielo and Ross, I think I've managed to put together a pretty damn good secondary over the last few years.
Yeah, this was a good pick.
And I'll bet that has as much to do with your turnaround last season as Shea did, the defense playing better.
Well, the secondary still pretty much sucked, to be honest, but my run defense was fabulous. I mean, like I said, I was number one against the run, which was weird. I've never really been that great against the run, and I don't really have like a super stout defensive line. Got some decent players, but for whatever reason, it worked.
The man-to-man, if it hits, I'm showing a 96. You probably have it even higher. It's going to be perfect for this guy. You have interception. I have it at 68 to 80.
Yep.
He's got high endurance. He's got good bump and run.
Yep.
Play agnostic. I love that. His run defense is going to be up there, past 50. Very good pick for where you picked him at.
Yeah, I was very happy with him.
123. I can't believe you fell that far.
Yeah, I was shocked to see him when he got there. And I'm sure this is the kind of guy that Justin, Grimm might have gone after if it would have been a chemistry fit rather than the guy he picked. But the guy he picked, he was looking more for safety than he was for corner, and this guy wouldn't have been a chemistry fit. So, like I said, I was kind of surprised that he was still there at 23.
When he was falling, were you saying to yourself, I might get this guy?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, until probably 4 or 5 picks before my pick, I wasn't paying that much attention. And then when I looked at my priority list that I'd set early on, it's like, holy shit, he's still there? Why? And that got me worried because my scouting's not the best on my defensive coordinator. It's like 53, and I'm like, God, am I seeing something that other people aren't? I mean, what's wrong with this guy? But he was the best guy on my list by a long shot. So I didn't really hesitate to take him, but I was real nervous. I'm still nervous. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen after the rollover, but yeah, I was surprised when he fell to me, and this is exactly what I wanted. I was looking for secondary help. The only other guy, honestly, that I was looking at that point was a tight end. It's like I can't do another tight end. That would be stupid. But I was trying to get Justin to trade me for Maloney prior to that pick, and he wouldn't do it. So, of course, after I made the pick and missed out on the tight end, then he's like, "Oh, I'll trade you for Maloney." Like, oh, fuck you. Keep it.
Good pick, C-Max. Up next is Merchant Man. He takes the tackle.
See, I'm confused. 6% developed. Look at all the yellow. I mean, if he booms, you're in great shape. If he doesn't, I don't know if that's going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, that could. Well, honestly,
yeah, I think that's high risk, high reward.
I mean, it was late enough in the round, I guess. And he was, in terms of bar profile, he was, as good as you could hope for, and his combines are nice. Everything in his combines looks acceptable. I mean, they weren't sexy, but they were decent and smart. So I don't know.
Yeah, Indy needed a tackle. He's got Ivan Dole, and that's about it.
Let's look at his team.
But that pass blocking should definitely be 100.
I mean, he cannot put him in the lineup this season.
Now,
not if he wants to win, I guess.
Now
I play him
I've
on the right
played
side.
rookies.
At 6%
Well, I can play
developed?
rookies, but I don't know, that's 6%. I mean, that guy's
No, and he
16 rating right now.
He's got
So how
he's
much
got a
do
mentor
they
on the roster too, so
Yeah,
I play
that's
him.
true. That
I
might
play him
help.
I play him at right.
how much do they increase if they don't play?
Well, better
That I
question.
don't know.
How much will he increase through the preseason? Week 1, where will he be at 6% now? Can he get to 20?
No.
Well,
no.
training
true.
camp. I'm guessing he could probably double that, maybe 14%,
Yes.
And then
Preseason
throughout-
games. Where's he at?
Over the course of the
preseason-
season, maybe another.
maybe another 18%, maybe 20%.
Okay, so
And then,
20%. Would you play him as a rookie?
Yeah, I absolutely. Well, if I was him, I would. I mean, he needs someone playing on the right side, and he does have a mentor, so that's just going to help him develop even further. And by next season,
You
Yeah,
better
he
no,
could be
I-
a
back in
potential
help
stud.
pass protect then.
I'd play him as a rookie. I picked up an undrafted free agent with similar bars and a little bit worse rating. I think he was a 54, not a 64, and I didn't play him, and he never developed.
That's what I'm talking about. Because if you sit them there, they're not going to develop. Especially at 6%, they will probably be at
Right.
15% after preseason, and he's your number one pick.
Well, we've
I
also
think you could
talked
sit a
before.
rookie for a season. I don't know that you could sit him for 2 or 3.
No,
without
but we've
totally
also talked
destroying.
about how they sometimes rookies play up to what their potential says they're going to be.
Yes.
You know, if this guy gets through, starts all season, and only gives up 4 sacks, fucking win-win.
I'll give you an example. I'll show you one of my rookies, and he played well. 4 sacks only.
Yep.
I think he came in. I forgot what he came in at. I just played him. So it can happen, but it can be the opposite. Yes, it can be that he's not playing up his potential and he's allowing all these sacks.
Based on what he's got on his team right now, I'd say, yeah, you definitely start it. I mean, he doesn't really have anybody else to start in his place. You know, but if you had a vet guy there that was, a 45 rated guy that you could put in, well, I mean, what's that Groom wielder look like?
Okay.
I mean, that guy could technically, not a
I
horrible
mean, if
left
you're
tackle.
throwing the ball and you don't care about the running game, he might be the better play.
Yeah, he's not a horrible left tackle. You know, maybe you start him and pepper in the rookie, periodically through the season as this guy gets tired, and if he plays well, then put him in. I don't know. He's got some options, but it wouldn't be unheard of to start him.
Is Merchant Man a passing team or is he a running team? Do you
I think
guys
he's
know?
more pass, but I don't think he passes.
He's been
all
more
the way.
passing lately, but just because he's had all those great wide receivers.
Yeah, he
But I
doesn't
think
have
he'd like to
running
get
backs.
back to. I think MIG would like to get back to a more balanced approach that he's had in the past.
He's struggling
he's-
at running back.
He
right
just
now.
hasn't had running backs for a while because he's spending so much on those wide receivers. You know.
He's got 42 tight ends.
Well, he's obviously looking for a new one. So
Yes,
hoping
he
one
is.
of those guys will pop.
Got 7 on the roster. Well,
That's not bad. 4 of them are rookies. I'm guessing they were undrafted. Maybe 1 or 2.
one of them works out or 2 of them work out, and he lets the other
Yeah.
ones go.
Yeah, that's not so bad then.
He's trying to see which one pops.
Hmm.
I did pretty much the same thing with wide receivers.
Okay. Let's go to next guy up is
Right in for Haynes.
Haynes. Takes
I
the
really
tight
like
end.
this. I really like Maxwell. He would have been a nice replacement for Maloney if I could have got Grimm to trade me before I picked.
Yeah, well, we discussed the issue.
Hey,
I had
you
to
discussed
sign
the
some
issue.
guys
Yeah, I
and
thought it was
see
bullshit.
who-
I think he should have just traded me for him and saved me $30 million, and then I could have drafted this guy and been perfectly fine.
Well, it turned out I had the money for him, and we talked about that Friday night. So, and you said you had enough money to sign him, and keeping that cohesion with all 4 of those
Yeah.
guys that you have
But
was
if I
really
had
worth
drafted
it.
if I'd drafted this tight end,
But this rookie looks like a player, runner and a receiver and a blocker.
yep, I like him. What I liked about him, because I got 2 great tight ends, but neither one of them have shit for third down catching.
And he's going to help
This
the
guy-
special teams, too.
Yeah, this guy would have been an affinity for me, and he would have been able to catch on third down. I would have loved to have grabbed that guy. I liked him. I think he's going to be. I
That's a
think he's
nice
going to be a
pick
great
there.
tight end.
Well, the endurance is a little on the low side, and we're looking at Clay's really great scouting, so that's a bummer because with endurance that low, you can only play him in one position or two formations.
Well, again, for me, I went to carry because I got Russell too. I've been splitting time with my tight ends. I don't know what
But again, you're looking for a
what
tight
Davis has
end.
got going on.
But again, you're looking for a tight end, and you want all these things. Well, he's got everything except endurance. Yeah, maybe we just take him anyway. I mean, you use somebody else in a couple sets, but you can still get a lot
Well,
out
and
of this
he's still got Harvey Vance there too that can split. Take
This
some
guy
of
will still
those,
contribute a lot to his team.
Yeah, Harvey Vance will still be. I mean, look at him. I mean, shit, he'd have been just fine. Yep, I like what he did there.
I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's a good pick.
He has Harvey Vance for another 3 years, and he spent him a lot of money.
Yep.
Hey,
Well,
I love
me
two
too.
tight ends. I play the shit out of both of mine.
Are you good with a 2 tight end set, C-Max?
Yeah, I love it. I love two tight ends. I got 800 yards out of both of my tight ends.
What was Jug saying last show? The thresholds, like 122 is like what, 22 or 24 plays a game, and after that you start getting familiar. That's plenty of plays. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, more than enough.
15,
Yeah.
start 1, 2, 12, and during your big sets. And
Yep, I pepper in a couple of 1-3-1s. I pepper in a couple of 0-2-3s so that I can get the tight ends in there a little more. But yeah, 18 to 20 1-2-2s per game, and I think I probably do 25 or so 1-1-3s, and
yeah,
and then just kind of sprinkle in the other ones. And yeah, I think I'm able to use it. Two tight end sets plenty enough to justify having two really good tight ends. When I'm in the 1-2-2, you got Woody Sheck, Preston, Maloney, Rusin. I mean, who are you going to cover? I mean, everybody's capable of putting up points.
So how are you going to have 2 tight end sets coming at you this season?
Yep.
that's okay, right?
Yeah, I don't mind.
I like two tight ends. So Howie traded me a tight end in the USFL, and my team's put 78 points on the board with double tight ends. So thank you, Howie.
Yeah,
Nice.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I love two tight end sets.
Another linebacker came off the board. Rochester.
Joe Hendon.
Yeah, well, look
And
at
again,
Your
if you, yeah, I guess that's bad, but I should look at them on my end. But again, all the tight ends that went in the second round, there's so many. 4, I think I counted 4 or 5 of them were better than outside of the one that he got at 1.4. 4 or 5 of them were better than the other ones picked in the first round.
Oh, I
And
don't
that
think
zone
so.
defense, I couldn't do nothing with that. This guy,
Oh, you're talking linebackers. You're saying
linebackers.
that
Yes,
tight
sorry,
ends.
I didn't
Oh,
mean
okay.
tight end.
What? Yeah,
I
I don't
didn't
like
tight
this pick. I don't
That
like
one
this
just
pick only
concerns
because
me.
his
The zone
defense
defense
so
is a
bad.
little.
Yeah,
And
I can't.
he's playing a 4-3 too. So
Yeah, unless I'm playing a 3-4 and he's my weak side linebacker, I gotta have zone defense at least 50 on my
in the
linebacker.
run defense and the pass technique,
Yeah.
he
nothing
can't
I look
rush.
for in a
He
linebacker.
can't,
But
yeah.
if he's in a 4-3, isn't your strong side linebacker in a lot of man coverage in a 4-3?
No,
No.
your linebackers are mostly in zone.
Almost
No, no,
always in
no.
zone. Yep.
So let me see what.
And this guy's going to go up against the best tight end.
Memory fails me again.
Yeah, I think linebackers are almost always in zone unless you're playing.
I have to
man.
go back and look a lot of times at that because I'll start thinking something and say, wait a minute, is that right? And I'll go look. No, you're wrong.
Yeah, and I'm showing him a little bit better than that, but without that zone coverage and that run
No, if he's-
defense, this
if
guy's
he's-
not good.
If he's in cover 1, the weak side guy can be in man or bump, right?
What
Yep.
what are you
No,
No,
showing?
cover 1, no. All the
Not cover
linebackers
1.
still play zone.
What are you showing him at run defense and pass rush technique?
I got him 33-58 for run. Pass rush technique is 33-47. And then the zone defense is 20-36.
So
Yeah, and he's lightweight.
2037 for me zone.
Yeah, I got 22 at 30 for zone. Of course, my defense isn't. Coordinator's not much better.
I mean, he's
I've
super
got a-
plays.
I've got a 92 defensive coordinator bar for scouting.
Oh yeah, so
Nice.
there you go.
okay.
Yeah, but still, just not.
I don't like
yeah,
it.
it's not what we
diagnosis-
were talking. Yeah,
Yeah,
Not-
play
not the
diagnosis
50.
looks pretty good, but it's not. Yeah, this is. I don't really like this pick.
but he's a good size for 4-3, and he can play some man to man. So he won't. The tight end won't abuse him too terribly.
That's true. And looking at the roster, yeah, he needed running back or linebackers.
And if nothing else, the guy's going to be a special teams ace.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
And
and
he's
honestly,
smart,
I think that
so-
play diagnosis, if that play diagnosis gets nice and high, he even with some of the lower bars, he might still be able to do good things.
Yeah, that's a definite bonus being super smart at linebacker. So
Benson is holding out.
Ugh,
I wonder what he wants.
probably 40.
If you're playing press one against the base two, your weak side linebackers and bump and run.
Sure, yeah. If you're playing press, I never play press, so I can't really talk too
Pretty
much
sure if you
about
play cover
what
one
happens.
against the press two or against the base two offense, you're in man to man. The weak side guy's the guy that changes. You could get around that zone bar with him in a 4-3.
yeah, I
Wouldn't be
guess
easy.
I
Wouldn't
guess
be
Bob,
easy,
I would
but
have
you
to
could.
look more into just straight up cover one because I used to use it all the time against Moontown, and my linebackers fucking shut his running backs down. So I need to look at logs and look more into that. But I got
I
cover
don't
one
have
buzzed
a
down.
log with cover one, but I'm pretty sure it's the opposite of press one. It's bump for press one. I'm pretty sure it's cover one. It's man to man for cover one. Now I'm looking at the bump and run. I just pulled one up just to see because I knew there was one of them that you can't do it in cover two or press two, but in press one and cover one.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying once in a while you can get good use out of those bars and avoid that zone bar. Not all the time. It would be hard.
I think survey says failed pick, but we trying to find some rainbows to them.
I agree with you. The zone bar would have kept me from picking them.
Well, he had back-to-back.
In the first round, anyway.
He had back-to-back first-round picks.
Now maybe he's planning on using them as a blitzer too. Who knows? I don't know. What are his pass rush bars like? That?
They were decent, but he's also only 230 pounds.
This is
Clay's awesome scout says nay.
Nah.
this is his
Well, I'm
first.
seeing
This
62,
is
100. Well, I'm looking at.
Oh, ouch.
he picked
Where's-
this
where's
guy
he
at
at?
127.
Let me see. Let me see where he's at with Rochester.
I don't like the pick. That looks like I need a wide receiver reach pick.
Yeah.
Or I want a wide
Does
receiver.
he-
Even need
Yeah,
a
I'm
wide
seeing
receiver.
81 strength, but yeah, 33, 45 in technique. So yeah, he's not going to be a blitzer either. And the run
Yeah, that
defense
was-
is only so.
Yep, that was probably a need, Chris. He's got Edward Corte, and he's getting old and kind of
Yep.
tanked the last couple seasons.
Yeah, maybe he
No,
pops, but
he can utilize this guy, Edward Corte. He's only 30 years old.
Yeah, but his ratings have dropped the last couple seasons.
He's got a
he
90,
might be in decline.
he's got a 90 route running
No,
and,
yeah.
and a GD of 61, so he can still use this guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're right. I'm looking at him now. He just dropped
Looking
like
at the
6
receiver?
points this last season.
Yeah, who's this other
Yeah.
guy? No, this guy doesn't
Cal-
do it.
Caldwell was another first round pick.
He's
traded for
he's a
it.
free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Receiver
Okay.
looks a little better.
Yeah.
He traded him with me.
Orlow.
Yeah, he doesn't have any.
Yeah, he needed wide receivers. It was a need pick for sure, but I still don't really like it.
So the combines maybe suggest he could pop in some areas. Yeah, the
That's
dash is
fast.
4.3. Good soul. Bench is average 13. Decent agility.
Position drill.
Broad jumps down. Yeah, no. So maybe
He might-
that
he
route
might
running
pop.
pops.
Yep, we'll see. He might pop.
He looks solid. Maybe not spectacular, but
Mhm.
will be a part of your offense. He can certainly contribute.
He's 52% developed. That's a little bit worrying with those bars.
Next up is Merchant Man again. Oh, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is
Frank
the
Bernard.
defensive end he took.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
let me get to him.
hard to argue with, especially with that pick.
Is he running a 3-4 or 4-3?
He's running 4.3 under.
That's
All right, so
perfect.
yeah, he might want to try and lighten him up a little bit, but
If he'll lose weight.
he's still
Yeah.
6'6". I mean, 6'6", 296. I mean, he might not be too far off. In
And I
terms
love
of the
tall
body
pass
mass
rushers.
ratio piece of it.
I love the tall pass rushers knocking those passes down.
Yeah, or even at D tackle. I mean, shit. If you played him at D tackle in a 4-3, I mean,
Yeah, 296. Put him inside.
So,
Yeah,
what are you guys showing on your good scouts?
I don't have good scouts, so I'm gonna have to go with defer to Grimm or
Let me see.
Howie.
Yeah, tell us what he has for run D and pass rush technique.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Hold on here.
890 pass technique and pass rush strength. I got 29.
So I
What was
got
the other one?
run
What-
defense 10 to 99. Pass
Yeah,
rush
ditto.
technique 8 to 91.
Okay,
I'm-
Pass
I
rush
got the
strength
same
is
thing Rick's
29.
got.
Play diagnosis is off the charts, 10 out of 100.
Punishing
Yeah,
hitter.
same here.
you're the same as me.
I got
What's
the
the
same
punishing
thing
hitter
Rick
you guys
has.
seeing?
891.
I'm
76.
I got
76 for
75.
punching.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
76.
74.
The end, if he can lighten up or move him inside a tackle, shit. this
He's-
No,
guy's-
he doesn't.
he-
He don't need a tackle.
He's going to be higher. His bench press is 27, yet he's a 74 in his punishing hit.
Nope, I just drop some weight on him and
I-
play him at left
if you
end.
can.
I think he's going to pop even
If he
more.
can. That's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Well,
be I wouldn't be surprised if that pass rush strength went up a little bit with those
Yeah,
combine
honestly,
numbers.
At 6'6", 296, his weight's too heavy for D end, but at 6'6", it's also body mass ratio might be perfect for a 4'3" D end. I mean, he's very, very tall.
Yep. I play him at left side if he can't lose weight.
If that
Yep.
Or I try to
469
gain him weight, move him inside.
If
So
that 46940 is true, he'll be able to rush the passer once he's
Yes.
fully developed.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said about Howie's pick, Matt, if you're listening, I'll give you a fourth for him. And if you want a seventh, I can add that too.
11% developed. Yeah.
Hey, I'll up that 4th and a 6th. Come on, buddy.
Oh,
We got a bidding war on the radio show.
He's got this guy at defensive tackle. I like this guy, Morris. So it'd be a nice combination with that guy. His other defensive tackle is a rookie.
Yeah, he's looking. Well, he got 4 defensive tackles this year. Yeah, 4. So I'm guessing. Alfred plays over, or Bernard plays over at defensive end.
But he doesn't have any defensive ends either, though. I mean, really, he could play him anywhere and be better off than he is.
Yep.
I like. Good pick. Matt's.
Definitely a need, and to get a guy that could be a 70-plus rated guy that late in the draft at a need position, that's awesome.
So I'm going to say this before the next pick. Kodos always says that he's a fucking terrible drafter, and I never believed him. I just no, nobody can be that bad.
Until you saw this
But
guy.
man,
This is
dude, why, Kodos? Why is this? He's got to be an affinity.
He's
gotta
2
be
out of 3 on
some-
run defense.
I don't.
maybe he's going to make him lose weight and move him inside, move him to end. I mean,
This is a guy that I wouldn't even have fucking touched. I mean, that 6 foot, 297. Where are you going to fucking play him? I don't touch this guy. I don't even look at this guy until 5th round. What, you guys? What round would you even look at this guy?
I wouldn't sign him as a free agent.
I'm right. Red zone.
yeah.
I wouldn't. sign
if
him
I
as a-
really wanted to figure out a way to try and use a pass rushing defensive tackle on some kind of oddball, yeah, no, I
The
would.
run defense kills it for me. I see
Rick?
2
Yeah.
current and 3
Rick,
future.
Howie?
And no run D, no Moss.
Which
He
is
would-
weird that he's got an 89 punishing hitter.
But here's the lure.
Because he's not going to
Maybe the lure was the pass rush and punishing hitter are next. Maybe that might be it's a pop pick.
I think that there's
Well, we're all going to look crazy.
yeah, maybe he's that 38 bench. Maybe he's thinking there's a chance this guy pops.
Yeah, we'll
Exactly.
We'll look really
My
dumb on
scout
Tuesday if
says.
he pops in preseason
Well,
too. But I don't know.
Well, then,
his
Then
agility.
Kodos can tell us to fuck off, but I don't think that's happening with this guy.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, his agility is at 7.95.
And even if that's what his thought was, that maybe he'll pop, you don't take a maybe he'll pop guy in the first round.
right. No, and in my defense, this guy would have value in the third down
And-
package against the one.
And he's a purple player too, by the way.
Yeah,
so
no,
he fits.
I knew he was going to be an affinity, but like my pass rush technique, 24 of 47, he's not even over 50. That's
Oh,
worth
let's see. He's
That's what I
smart,
see, Keith
can
Rim.
lay of the wood, and good pass rush strength. And if he's in the rotation,
Yeah.
whatever D he's playing, that
And-
could work. 4th down or third and long pass rush guy.
I know
And
we're
a
trying to find
rotational
the
guy
silver
in the
lining
first
here.
round, though. I don't know.
There's so many good guys taken in the second that I can't even find a silver lining on this guy. I know we're trying to be nice because we all love Toronto and we all love Kodos, but this was a fucking terrible pick in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I hope he proves us wrong and this guy ends up being a perennial Pro Bowler.
Hey Kodos, love you, buddy.
Yeah, we
Defense,
love you.
bud.
We just don't like to pick.
I mean, if I was Toronto and I'm drafting and I've got that offense that he has, I'm talking to myself, how do I beat Ben? And maybe this does it in his mind. With that speed, that agility, that pass rush bar. If you're just straight looking to put pressure on a pass rusher or on a quarterback, maybe.
See,
Yeah.
and okay.
Would that be the best player available at the time? I don't know.
His
I don't know.
defensive scouting is 91, so it's close to Clay. So he's seeing almost exactly what we're seeing here with what Clay's got on the board.
Yeah, but maybe he liked the pass rush strength and the combine numbers. I don't know.
Who
I
likes
don't know.
pass rush strength?
I think if
He needs
And a
linebackers.
he
Again,
needs to get on here and tell us what's up.
yeah, I want an
Exactly.
explanation.
If he
You need
wants
to
to
fucking
be-
explain yourself, sir.
If he wants to beat
I want
Ben, he
it.
needs
I want
defensive backs. His secondary's got to get better. This isn't going to do it.
Yeah.
No,
I
and
want
again,
answers.
yeah, I want answers because with all the linebackers that were in the second round and all the linebackers he needs,
And how badly he needs secondary.
mhm.
Yeah, if you're going to beat Ben, you're not going to do it with defensive tackles.
Look, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here a little bit and defend him for some reason. I don't know why.
All right,
because you're an
I don't
idiot.
know. I don't think he can. I don't think he can. He needs so much on his defense. His defense, the whole thing, top to bottom, needs help.
he's an awesome GM, but this is
Yeah,
not a good
there
pick.
could have
That's
been
all. I mean,
something
we all
way,
make
way
bad picks.
better.
I've made bad picks. We've all made bad picks. I mean, this just doesn't look very good. That's all.
Maybe his
Absolutely.
finger slipped.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe his finger slipped. Is that
Yeah.
the next
Should we,
one?
should we take the next 10 minutes and
yeah,
make up
maybe.
excuses as to what happened here?
Maybe he
Whoa.
misclicked. A fat finger type
He had
thing.
something in his eye he couldn't see right.
Exactly.
Uh,
Lost
he,
his contact.
he will
You know,
post. He
I
will
just
post.
took a sip of whiskey and maybe jump it up my nose, you bastard.
He will post after
Maybe
he
that's
hears
what happened to
this
him.
about why he took this player.
Nah, I bet.
I
be
want
good.
I want a full write up in the forum under a
It better
Toronto
be a good
press release.
explanation.
Why did he pick Seth Sciolo? Doesn't even have a cool last name.
Here we go. Quick takes this guy. Good pick. It looks like so far. I haven't got to his stats yet.
He looks doable.
Yeah,
I like him better than that last wide receiver that was picked.
definitely. Now, he's got a position score of 44 and a soul of 18. So his route running might drop in PS2.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
I
if
can
it
see
does,
that,
this
but-
doesn't look like a very good pick
With
because
the
he has no
bars.
display bar to begin with.
This
He
is a
needs that
possession
route running
guy.
to get downfield to stay where they're at to be a valuable receiver because it's 40 times low, which is why the big play is low. I mean, he's got to be able to catch the ball and get yards after the catch. If that route running drops, he's not going to be happy.
No, if that route running sticks, though, this is a guy that can get you a solid 5-6 every catch.
Yep.
And
He's not
oddly
gonna
enough, he
bust a
was
lot.
not a chemistry fit, I think. Yeah, he was a
Oh,
He's
Really?
a great
he was a
slot
yellow
receiver.
guy.
If his
No.
bars hold, he's a great slot receiver. But if that route running drops,
Isn't Quick usually pink?
yeah. Quick's pink on red. Well, it looks
Red, pink.
red, whatever.
Is there
He's
anybody
using
that
that,
deals with
but
yellow
he's-
anymore?
But he's I've kind of accepted Quick stuff about, hey man, if there's a guy there that looks pretty good and he's
Right,
not
you
in
take him.
Infinity, I'm going to take him. Just like he took Seth Castillo,
Right.
6 years ago or 6 seasons ago, and he's a blue guy that I would like to pry away from him.
Mhm.
I cannot do that. So yeah, no, decent pick for the end.
Yeah, for the end of the first round. I mean, he can be a serviceable guy if his bars hold up.
I think he gambled that route bar will stay where it's at.
That's what he's doing, I think. Gambling on that.
Yeah, let me see if I see him a little bit better.
Well, your offensive scouting is not as good as Clay's, is it?
No, it's better.
Oh, I thought
No.
your defense was better.
No, oh yes, it's defense. Sorry.
Yeah,
Never
his
mind.
offense is way better, I thought.
All right, that makes sense. That's right.
See here.
Okay. Next up, Ben takes the quarterback. He also went
Logic
after,
pick.
he also went after Darryl Taylor.
He signed him.
He signed him.
Yep.
Spent a lot of money.
Really?
But neither Bob nor I would have taken this guy. but that doesn't mean he's not a stud.
Well, again, what does Ben run? Ben doesn't run spread in West Coast. Ben runs Smash Mouth and Air Coryell and sometimes a little Earhart Perkins.
Got Smash Mouth. He really got. Oh, he did get Daryl Taylor.
Yeah, he did. I bid it on him and
He's
quick bid
probably
on
not
him.
worried
and
about timing
slam.
at all.
Everyone bid it on him.
Well, Ben likes the sense rush guys because they can run his offense,
Yes.
and he can. No, he can't run, but he usually likes the running types too.
Plus, he likes the guys with big arms.
Yeah, 16 reps on the bench. Yeah, that's a pretty big arm.
Maybe just short
Yeah,
passes.
no,
He
this
likes-
is
Ben will tell you. He
he's
comes right out and
smart.
tells you he likes to throw deep.
Yep, he's smart. He's got a smart quarterback. He's got the bars that are. He's going to be in the middle of the road on short, medium, long. Got sense rush. He doesn't care about timing.
Well, we're almost 99% guaranteed that this is the best quarterback drafted in
Well,
the
maybe
draft.
not the best quarterback drafted, but definitely, I think guarantee he's going to be the most productive quarterback.
It
drafted.
fits what he does. Period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be
Well, that's
productive.
kind of excites
if he
me, 'cause
starts
I
this
kinda
guy,
want
he'll
German.
be productive.
Yeah, I kind of want German Terry on my team, so maybe I can make a deal for him.
Why doesn't he want German Terry anymore?
He's going to
got
want
that
the big
medium
money.
Bar, timing, sense rush.
Yeah, he's
I
going to
don't know, I
want
like
big
the guy.
money, but Ben can throw anybody in his system and make him fucking work. And why
Yeah.
spend all this money on this guy? I mean, 53 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. You play one more season there, I'll trade for him, and he'll come over to my team and be garbage.
This is why Ben's always going to be successful, because he's not looking at just his starters. He's always got that number 2 guy ready to win, and the number 3 is a project for the future. So I mean, he's always got another possibility sitting there. He doesn't.
Bob's
have to go
exactly
out
right. He
and
just
find
signed
somebody
Daryl
to trade
Taylor.
agency.
He just signed Daryl Taylor, and he fucking drafted another guy. And these guys are both young, and they're going to come up in the system and be just fucking fine.
Yeah, he rarely gets in a situation where somebody retires and he doesn't already have an answer there.
Yep, and he'll trade one or two of them for a second or third round pick and turn those into first round quality players that he'll trade for.
Well, I mean,
first round pick.
Didn't he drafted 4 more wide receivers this year?
Five.
5.
Picked up
Yep.
5 more.
And he already had 10, right? So he's got 15 now.
Let's
And all
look
of them are, like 45 to 60 rated, so all of them could draft, pull them a third round pick from somebody.
Yeah, I'm smoking quick, gentlemen. Be right back.
this
Lucky
guy.
quick gentleman, I guess.
Yeah, he's paying 50-something million to Daryl Taylor.
Yeah, he paid for him. I was a little surprised because of the season German Terry had, but hey,
Actually paid $64 million for him.
he clearly sees something that he likes. I mean, I guess I can't lie. The cluster of third down accuracy, timing, and sense rush on Taylor was very nice with the scramble bar. I mean, he was good for us. He just wasn't great. I wanted somebody better.
Yeah, well, and if he's able to, paying $20 million a season for a quarterback, if he's productive like all Ben's quarterbacks are, that's really not that bad. I mean,
No.
He's going to get more production out of that guy than I get out of Shea, and I'm paying Shea $7 million this season. So,
I mean, I could have probably just paid him and continued on and been okay. I felt like Witten gave us a better chance to go deeper in the playoffs.
Which he did.
Well, one more game, but I mean, it was also the first season he was on the team. I mean, I'm going to have him for, I'm hoping 4 or 5 more years. So, I mean, I've got a few cracks. I mean, we'll see. I have to get McIntyre re-signed, and we'll figure it out after that.
What do you think of this guy that Jugs picked? This tight end.
I like him a lot. If that route running bar holds up, I mean, he's kind of like that other tight end with a little better endurance, I guess. But route running, he can block. The avoid drops sucks, but otherwise, yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. That's I think that's a great pick at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a great pick. 6'6".
Okay, but
Tall.
let's say he's got a terrible avoid drops bar. So what does that mean for a season? He's going to drop 15 or 18 passes?
I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, I think it's going to be the difference between dropping 6 passes and dropping 10 or 11 passes.
Okay, so if he drops, let's say he drops 12 passes a season, unless all 12 of them are 80-yard touchdowns that he dropped, that really isn't going to change your season much, is it? I mean,
you might
got a
that might
bad
cost you
play,
3 or 4 first down plays, maybe, but yeah,
it's not like it was an interception. It's not a pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to gain the yards on the next play.
And the home run
The
he's
rest of
going to
those
hit for
bars-
you.
Exactly, Rick. That's what I was just going to say. For the rest of those bars,
Yeah.
I'll put up with that.
Yep. Yeah, I got
So-
no beef with him at all.
So, red zone. You don't put him in red zone position, so just in case he's in the end zone, he drops a pass. You keep him out of those plays and just keep
No,
him
I
in
just
the middle
live
of
with
the
the ones
field.
he drops.
20 to 20.
No, I just live with the ones he drops and then move on and
Yeah.
score in the next play.
Same thing. If he drops one in the end zone, so be it.
He's going to catch some too. I mean,
Exactly.
I like this tight end. I was
that's
just asking that
that's not
question
a bar
to see.
that would make me not draft a player. I guess is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think he's
you
as
want
good
it
a tight
higher,
end.
but oh well.
I think he's going to be as productive and has potential to be as good as either of the other two tight ends that were drafted much earlier.
So Chris, are we both in agreement? We'd also give him a 4 and a 6 or a 4 and a 7 for this guy if he doesn't want him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
checking it.
Well, let's see here.
That's 3 guys. In case you guys want to dump these guys because you're not happy with how they turn out.
Yeah, I'm always willing to give up 4th and 6th for those quality players. You
Yep.
know.
Yeah, we'll help you out.
Yep. Exactly. You know, I mean, if it
Have a
if
good
it
night,
helps,
Howie.
you're able to build your team, then yes, for sure. I'll give you.
How are we leaving?
Yeah, he's
Haskin,
going to get the
Haskin is holding out. And he doesn't have that much money. It's only got 5.3 million.
Oof.
Or 3.2 actually under the cap.
Yeah, who's Oakland?
Yes.
Good
What's
lord,
he got?
his backup quarterback's not going to do him any favors either.
Oh, he's holding out in season 16. Wow.
How much is he paying him right now?
Right now he's only making 11.54 million. That's not much.
Yeah, good
I
God.
guess he's dropped to 39 overall. I mean, not really.
Yeah, what's he asking for? I wonder.
But look
If
at the
he's
season.
only asking for a $3-4 million raise, give it to him. Give him 2
But look at the season he just had in 2107.
I know.
Yeah, pay him. Well, no, now he probably wants $40 million. You can't afford it.
But you know what? He's coming off a bowl win. You know he wants a raise.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Oh,
all
is he
you can give him.
38? No, he's not resigning.
Yeah.
He's going to let him play out his final season.
But
He's
can't.
holding out though. I don't know if he plays his final season.
Oh,
He's
is he
got
holding out?
yeah, he's only got 3.2 million to spend.
And his backup doesn't look wonderful, but
Backup looks terrible.
And let's see what's in the free agency market right now.
He can't get anybody anyways.
Let's see here.
It's going to
9
cost
million.
more. Yeah, exactly. I mean, even the veteran minimum is going to be more than he's got.
Yeah, if he goes for this guy.
you go get Edgar Cooney.
Hey, might be able to get him. Might
Master
get him.
Luke's loved him, huh?
Who?
What did he post
Me.
about Edgar Cooney?
Oh, this guy.
Said something recently.
He wants $9 million.
Oh, he never had him. Wait a minute. I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah, you're thinking of IHOF.
Ashton.
No.
You're thinking of that
Master Luke
Ashton
was
guy.
talking about some QB that he had that Judd finally talked him into getting rid of. I thought it was Edgar Cooney. Must be somebody else.
No, it was a guy that he played with for years that didn't do much. Ashton something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
him. Ashley.
Well, in any event, he's going to need a quarterback and his defensive end. Wow.
Yeah, Ernest Ashley. You're right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
now
him.
that guy's going to want 30-something million, so he's going to have to play out his contract probably.
Well, that's why he drafted that guy last year. Grimmer wouldn't trade him to you.
Weston Berry. He's 26 years old.
Yep.
He doesn't have the money to pay him.
He'll be on the block soon.
If I had money, I'd be offering him picks. That's a nice little guy. Oh, his pass rush technique's not so great. But
And it looks like the guy that was drafted by I can't remember the name of the team. The 6'6" guy?
The
bar spread?
Max Lewis. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why he drafted Terry Hopper last year because he knew that might come up.
Yeah.
Probably anyway. I don't know for sure what he was thinking, but
And with a big pass rush tech bar, just go get the quarterback, son. Go get him.
All right, we did all of the picks.
Nice.
Red Zone, you didn't have any picks because you gave it up for your quarterback, correct?
No.
So, did you have a second-round pick?
I took a center in round 2 that's
Let's take a
kind
look
of
at him.
iffy. I like my third round pick better, the defensive tackle.
Let's take a look at your second-round pick. can't let you come on here and not
Oh,
talk
I
about
like
it.
him.
Yeah, tear my guys up just like we tore everybody else's, right?
I like him.
Absolutely.
In the second round, I'm taking a no
Hey,
endurance guy with those bars for sure.
Fair is fair, right?
I think this guy looks just fine for a mid-second round pick.
My problem is he probably can't play this year if we want to win. And that's kind of disturbing because my center is kind of on the decline, Graham Bernard, and I can save $15 million if he's not around, and I could use that money to re-sign the running back, and that was the plan. But the development is going to hurt me on that center. I picked another guy up, but I don't know if I'm willing to take the cohesion hit to play Lincoln Strange for a season. And let
Oh no,
Bernard go.
you gotta start Bernard all season, and then if he gets tired, maybe throw in this other kid for one game, get him a little
Problem with
playing
that
time.
for him is if I do that, I can't re-sign the running back.
What, McIntyre? I'm not.
The stud guard Kelly wants a $16 million a year raise, and the running back wants 33. That's $49 million I need.
Oh, so you're thinking about cutting Graham Bernard?
So we've got 16 to play with. We're looking for ways to come up with that money, and there are ways. But yeah,
Oh,
the
shit.
aim is to get rid of
Yeah,
Graham Bernard.
maybe you have to let Graham Bernard go and start the rookie and throw in Strange as the filler on tired days.
I want to see preseason week 2, obviously, before I do anything. But
Yep.
you may see Miles Hutchins, the wide receiver. You may see Graham Bernard. They may be hitting a trade block.
But who wants extra money again on your offensive line?
The
Zach
guard,
Kelly,
Kelly?
Kelly.
Oh,
that third round beast.
Got to pay him.
yeah.
Oh, he's staying. There'll be no question. He's going to stay. If I keep him and don't sign the running back, he's staying. He's not leaving. The running back is the problem. And like I said, you may see receiver Miles Hutchins and center Graham Bernard, and I don't know who else may hit a trade block soon.
Didn't Rick want your running back?
He did until he
he's
saw the
running.
price tag, and then he decided he couldn't
Not no
afford
more.
it and drafted
He
one.
just grabbed the creds, man.
I grabbed my own Pat McIntyre.
He's going to wait 4 years, and then he'll have to deal with the same thing, but he doesn't have to deal with it right now.
What's McIntyre want on a re-signing?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull it up, but I'm pretty
Triple
sure
that, right?
5 years, 281.
281, 5 years.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I just see that you're paying him
Yeah,
only
that's
12.
60 a pop almost.
Yeah.
55 a pop.
Well, Chris,
Oh,
you could
yeah.
trade him Tally and then pick up McIntyre.
I don't have the money to pay a running back $55 million. It's bad
Well,
enough.
I'm hoping-
I'm struggling to come up with 15, 20.
I'm hoping that we get to preseason week 2 and he doesn't drop a ton, but if he drops 5 points, his money will drop too.
Yeah,
if
that's
you can
not
get him
always
down
kinda
into that
wait for it.
$35 million range, I'll trade you for him.
And
Yeah,
all
now we
know
have
that I can also
plenty
do
of
the,
fellas
heavy
walking out of
bonus.
Chicago next year.
We all know I can do the heavy bonus, low salary trick too, and maybe drop it some. But then you're really tied to him because you can't do anything. Getting rid of him doesn't save you any money, and he better perform for the length of that contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not sure I want to do that exactly. I haven't.
Yeah, and I keep Kelly over McIntyre because if you have a
Kelly's
solid
steady.
all line, you can find somebody to run behind it.
Yep.
Kelly stays. That's already decided.
Yeah.
Seven
Yeah,
done.
it would hurt to let McIntyre go, but let
Oh,
somebody
we'd be
else pay
happy
him
to see
way
him
too
leave.
much.
So
Absolutely.
he ran over us twice. We'll help him pack his shit. Okay,
Absolutely. We'll give him
You'll
the
pay for
hat.
the U-Haul, huh, Rick?
I'll rent the U-Haul. I'll fucking drive it for him.
We'll hand him his hat and show him the door.
That's right. Here's $20. Grab yourself a sandwich on the way.
The person that would take him from you, you know, would be Jugs.
Yeah,
He has no money. He has 2 holdouts already.
yeah, and he has $3
That's
million
right.
bucks left.
That's
I
right.
would
Now,
think
who's
just
the
about
big money
anybody be
teams
happy
that
to
can
get him if
spend?
they had the money.
That's what you got to do, Bob. You got to start dangling him over the big money teams.
So Clay,
I would prefer to keep him. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
you got to
Yeah, Grim.
I've got
start
a
looking
little
at
time.
these linebackers in round 2.
Sure.
Any one of these
Look at
motherfuckers.
this defensive tackle real quick. What do you think of him?
On your team? Hold on.
Yeah, round 3 pick.
You talk about this guy, Bernard?
Bernard Fisher.
He looks like shit
No
on
one.
my board.
Yeah, no endurance.
Now,
No,
that's
let
my
me see what
scout.
he looks. Yeah,
You guys
let me
have to
see what he looks like here.
I think Rick has the better scout. Rick, what are you showing?
Well, the endurance,
Who is it?
that's not going to change. You're
Bernard
always below
Fisher
endurance. I see
for
it too.
Chicago.
Chicago.
I'm talking about
Defensive tackle.
Aside from that,
All right, let's see. Bernard Fisher.
He looks like crap of mine.
I don't think it looks like crap. I think it looks fine on you. I mean, I'm probably in the minority in that I don't really care that much about endurance.
Bernard
because
Fisher,
you're
2660 overall. Which
I'm
bar
going
do
to
you
use
want in
4 defensive
particular?
tackles anyway, so his endurance isn't going to be that big of a factor for me.
Yeah, I do rotations on my D line. I don't care about the endurance that much on them.
Yeah, I try to do rotations, but I don't have anybody really good with endurance for my defensive tackles. So I need endurance on a defensive tackle. I want a guy that can play
talking
every fucking
combination.
down.
I'm talking
Oh.
a combination of run defense, technique, and strength.
Yes,
The punching
those
hitter
bars
bar,
look good on mine.
Punishing
play
hitter.
diagnosis,
Yep.
you know,
16 to 77 run defense, 14 to 51 pass rush technique, pass rush strength is 61. It's punishing hitters 75. His play diagnosis looks like
I've got
somewhere around
one
43.
plus one in each of those. I've got
Yep.
one more plus. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
for
like him
round
just
3
fine.
that was a pretty good pick, and I actually still think he might pop.
For me, I like the endurance on a defensive player on a line. So that's
Well,
why
too.
I'm the way I am.
What do you play, Bob? A 4-3 or 3-4?
4-3.
Then he's good for that because it's rotational thing anyway.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to use 4 defensive tackles.
Exactly. So he's perfect for that because he's just whatever you think he's best at versus 2 versus 3 wideouts. Throw him in.
Yeah, like I said, I don't. I mean, unless you got a guy that's got full on 100%
Right.
endurance, you're not going to get a guy that on the D line that plays every down without having to worry.
They only need
Stamina.
60 to 80 to play.
Not to play on every down.
Not to play on every down.
Nah, I don't agree with that. Maybe on all the 2 wide receiver, 3 wide receiver, but you can't have a guy with 60 endurance that hits on every single one of the plays or formations without having an endurance issue.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Oh, wow. Hold the phone. I just pulled them up in the trade window. I didn't see the 0 in there. I'm looking still at the conscriptor where it was 42 to 75.
Oh yeah, no, it's a 0.
No,
That's-
and
that's-
Antonio,
that's the tight end. Hang on. Where's my? I didn't.
my defensive end, Chris, Antonio Owens has 55 endurance, and
3.
I only have to take him out of one formation. So I think I take
That's
him out
not
of
bad.
104, and he doesn't get tired, and it just says small concern or some concern,
And you have him in on the short yardage and the
everything,
goal line.
everything but the 104.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
weird.
take him out of,
Yeah, that's weird because I've not had that same experience.
and his endurance has gone down over his career too. So
Yeah, the endurance showed in the conscriptor 0 to 38. It's shown in the trade window 0. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
We all have
got-
zeros.
Yeah, we all got zeros. He's a
got
zero.
the pop,
endurance.
or I may have a bigger problem than I thought. I actually
So-
liked this pick till I saw this.
So
No,
basically,
you can always send him over to Arizona.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a 6th because I like him
I'll-
just fine.
I'll give you a 5th.
Son of a bitch.
no one's
I'll
willing
give
to
you a
give up the
6th
third.
and a ham sandwich.
There you go.
Red zone. I will give you an 8th.
Wait a second. Wait, we're trying to sell weed now?
And Rick's second.
I'll take an 8th.
Yeah, that 0 that changes things a little bit. I still like the upper bars, but
Oh shit, Howie left. Damn it. Later, Howie.
Hey, how we had
Yeah.
to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yes,
didn't
and
see
I
that.
actually have to leave too because my wife has to go to bed, which means they got to take over working.
Boo his swine.
Yes, I agree.
But
But it
yeah,
was
Kelly,
last.
let's just look at some of these linebackers in the second round, then we can be done. I don't really think you're talking about the trades.
y'all later,
I don't think
guys.
there was any blockbuster.
Later.
brother.
Be good, C-Max.
I want to see
I
how
don't
this
think there
goes.
was like really any blockbuster trades that happened.
Oh wow!
So here's Merchant Man's second round pick.
No wonder I'm rated so low. That safety's got a 17 out of 30 endurance too.
Little low on the fucking zone defense for me. But all the bars on the left, Clay. Would you not draft this guy in the? Well, you wouldn't draft him in the first, but fuck, I would have. Maybe.
Who's this now?
Caden
Merchant Man.
Hastings, Merchant Man linebacker.
See, I like pass rush technique from my linebacker.
Hastings.
Well, you got a blitz though. You're a 3-4.
Yeah, you can't blitz in a 4-3. It doesn't work. I don't think it works anyway. Doesn't work.
It gets sketchy when you do.
Yeah, I tried it for a season or two, and it just didn't really. I mean, I get my guys to get like maybe 5-6 sacks, but then you take them out of coverage, and that's what they're meant to be
You're
doing.
blitzing in a 3-4 so you can get that fourth pass rusher. You already have 4 pass rushers in the 4-3. When you send that fifth guy, you don't have enough people in coverage.
And I learned that the hard way when I tried 4-3 for the first time ever.
What are you
Just
guys
not the
showing
good
on
blitz.
this guy on your scouts?
So you
He's a
got
beast except for technique.
Hastings, let's see.
That's a first round
I
pick.
have
too.
4174 for his run.
That's 62 to 100. Well, wait a minute. That's the conscriptor. Where's the? Let me go in game here. Mass Louise.
His pass rush strength, I have him at 94. That's it. He's
I just got to see if my
max.
92.
Let's
says he's going to be better at
linebacker,
Caden Hastings.
Hastings.
Yeah, see his zone, I guess,
I
would
got
be a little lower for me.
4386. I've got 92 strength.
What do you have for his zone?
23,
24,
43, that's a
46.
little low.
In my
Punches
zone,
are 61,
23, 44.
Endurance is 7488. I still think that's a late first.
Late first, yeah.
Still a good pick. Still
Yeah.
a good pick.
Yes. All right,
Fred Harding, Moontown.
let's look at that
This guy looks like the guy I would have taken in the first for sure. Weak side linebacker.
Oh, here we go.
Where's he at?
Moontown.
Oh, yeah, good one.
It
Yeah,
looks
look at
he's
that.
a good one.
I mean, how did some of these guys not go in the first? With some of those
We're
shit
always
picks
off,
that we
we're all
looked at.
offensive
Yes,
minded
I
up
mean,
front.
That's a first round pick for sure.
Wow. How did this guy drop that far?
I'm showing them even better. Fred Harding, got to go to Moontown.
Get up here.
This guy's just as good as Mad Max, whatever that guy's name
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
And he
what
dropped this
1-3 or
fucking
something.
far?
That's a
You kidding
mid
me?
first, maybe even a top 15,
Yep.
12.
And he can even play special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're taking him between like 14 and 20, you're golden.
Rick,
So-
what are your
Round 2 at what pick?
Which bar you want?
He's
the
picked,
zone? That's
Zone.
2-8.
We've got 2169.
I got 2269. Beautiful. This guy, maybe a little bit on the dumb side as far as play diagnosis, but this guy's
And
a
that
guy
could
taken
be
first
where-
round all fucking day.
2-8. That's 15.
And he's a
Much
4-3
too-
size. So if he plays 4-3, he's got a winner.
Absolutely.
solid pick. Nice pick at number 2. 280 he
Moontown.
got this guy. 280.
Yeah. That's a first round pick.
At
in
least
my
16
eyes.
or 20 spots too late.
Moontown does play 4-3 over. So,
42 picks.
all right, brother. But then click on the next guy.
I am.
Let me amaze you with what Howie grabbed.
And Howie's not here. Let's see.
Billy Fulton. Let's go to Texas.
I mean, another sick motherfucker. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And this is
Here it
6
is.
picks later.
Wow.
So, but that's your shit doesn't look as good as what me and Rick are going to be able to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Fulton. Wow. That's a
Yeah,
late
this year
pick.
I stayed away from defense this year because I wanted a
You went hard.
cohesion.
Yeah, you went hard last year
Yeah.
on that type stuff. Billy Fulton. So, what's your zone reading on him?
Zone for Billy is 4266.
I got 43.62.
Wow. What a difference
Billy Fulton.
between
Wow.
your scouts and my scout.
Yeah,
It's
and
night and day.
Night and day. Because I'm at 45. 44,
That,
45.
that run defense gets
I'm
over
seeing
60, Rick.
4360.
What do you have?
Boom.
Zone 4360.
43. Yeah, we got a little bit higher on the
He's
top
playing
end.
every fucking down. 6'2", 243. Perfect
Yep.
fucking size.
What do you have for run? D and
3660, 3156.
3661.
and
Play
then-
diagnosis 4374.
Yeah, I got 33, 60, 30, 57. And that pass rush strength, if you choose to do it, is at 91 already solid. So
Yeah, 92.
another good guy who dropped all the way down.
that endurance is going to be a fucking 100. He can play special teams. The play diagnosis is 43 to 76. This is beast. This guy is going to be on a Texan for his entire career.
Good
And
pick,
nobody.
Howie.
How many shitty draft picks did we see in the first round and nobody grabs any of these fucking linebackers? Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
No, I scouted this guy, McMichaels.
Oh, he would have been beast pass rusher for you.
Where'd he go?
He went
Frederick.
to Fredericks.
Frederick.
What pick?
Let's
217.
see. Yes. Now,
Oh, decent.
I'm
2550 overall.
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
What is his run and what is
not
his
as impressive
pass
as the
rush
other ones, but
technique?
still solid.
Yeah, let me see.
2661, 2974. Serviceable with for where he got him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little lower than
Could have gone
ours
earlier in round
suggest
two.
over
but
there.
The
he's
other
on first.
the other three were first rounders.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy
But
is
think
probably
we were
this
all
is a good
crazy
place
about
for him.
offense in the first round. We overlooked these guys every time.
No, and I don't.
What's
I
the
mean,
wide
I honestly
receivers
don't.
does it? The receivers push players like this in the round too.
Yeah.
None of these guys
Oh,
are an
this
affinity
guy,
for me
by the
on
way,
linebacker.
This is
So,
how I saw John Stone, and I was thinking if I can get him, but I don't know how he shows up at the end of the day. So we're gonna
Yeah.
find out.
look at that. At 22, John Stone. Nobody wants this guy.
Okay, this is what I saw in this guy. However, I couldn't get back in the second round.
Yeah, he looks solid too.
Now-
2553.
So
Yeah,
you
I got
25.
25-57.
Oh, so I'm showing him 2673.
Oh, yeah, no. You
Well,
need
you got
that.
you got a shitty defensive coordinator scouting.
He ain't that
But-
good play. Sorry.
But just based on those bars play.
I know, right?
He's
I'm
good,
seeing
but he
those
ain't that
bars.
good.
He looks awesome on the on that end.
On my screen, he looks
With
amazing.
the Blues, he looks awesome.
I mean, my bars are a little bit less than that, but for 6'6", 261, this guy could be a great 4-3 guy.
You want to feel better about your draft? Just have Clay send you a screenshot.
There you go.
Right?
Actually, we'll have to team up next year, Clay. You'll do the offensive
Clay.
scouting for me, and I'll do your defensive scouting. for
Yeah,
you.
Clay. No, there's yeah.
What are you
That
talking about, Rick? You're in the same division.
I
you
know.
can't
I
do
got
that.
to leverage everything.
Clay, I would suggest getting a better defensive scouting next year. If you can.
I tried.
You can't go with 37 because that's what you're going to get all day. Everybody's going to look like a gem.
Yeah, this guy looked beautiful.
But he actually doesn't actually look half bad. I don't
I don't
think
know what you
first
guys
round
think
better.
the scout the coaches drafts, the scouting setting it, but I started at 20 on the coordinators, and it's staying there unless I have something else I really need. You
Yeah,
gotta have the
that's what
scouting
I try to
for it.
do.
You have to.
2020.
I don't
Need
care if
and
you have
scouting.
nothing else.
2020.
If you have
No,
nothing
I,
else with scouting, you got to have scouting.
I'll take a little bit less. Like my offensive coordinator right now, my bars are 60. I got a 40-point spread on my bars, but he's a young guy.
Yeah.
And I know if you keep a young guy on, he's got good play calling, which I like, and good other things, but they will grow as the seasons go on. Their stats they're not static. They will grow as they get older. So you just got to hope for them. Like Leo Roger, my defensive coordinator, you ain't got to look him up, but I think he started on my team as a 53, and he is now 63. So he's grown, 10 points in his stats over how long has he been here? 10 seasons? Yeah. So
how are you seeing this guy, Garrison?
Chance Garrison, Fort Wayne.
My guy sees him crappy, very crappy.
Let's see. 2551.
Fort Wayne.
Does he have a good run, pass rush technique?
2461 run. Pass tech 2353.
Okay, much better.
Garrison. Yeah, 2550. Probably not a guy I would have grabbed who's got great play diagnosis, 3887, but 2359, 2250, and zone defense is 1845.
He could start. He'll play.
Yep.
And then the last,
I like the smart guy, so he'd play. 3787, he'd play.
And Roy,
here's
Dolphinger.
Kodos. Kodos
Roy
took this guy.
A little less than I
Dolphinger.
want in endurance, but
Rick,
Dolphinger.
what are you showing?
3553.
3553.
I got 3554, zone defense 3255,
32.55 over here too.
821 for endurance. So, yeah.
821
guy
endurance.
maybe-
We see the same thing.
Yep. 40.58 run defense.
39.58.
All right. So we're pretty close. What's your scouting at? 92?
92, I think. 92 or 94. I can't remember.
Mine's 80.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so there's
fired
not-
the other one because Mech fired all his good ones and hired these guys that had scouting bars of 19 and 20s, and I had to fire them all.
Yeah. Anyways,
Because last year's draft was horrific. It was terrible.
Yep.
I was ashamed of it, but hey, I had to work with what I had.
Yep. Well, we could do this forever, but I think my sleepers were at least those first 3 linebackers. Those guys could have been drafted in the fucking first compared to some of the guys that were drafted. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And see,
Absolutely.
mine's 80 and 75, the offensive and defensive coordinators. So they're going to be decent, but not great.
See, my offensive coordinator is my defensive guy's 92 on the scouting, and my offensive fella is a 67. So 3/4 of the way.
Could punt up a little bit. Yeah, you should work something out with Clay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We got to cheat.
You guys
But
help
you know,
me.
that's cheating. We're not supposed to share our ratings with people, but
You guys help me with the defense. I'll help you with the offense.
great. I don't know, send me a text. Hey, what do you think about this
And I'll
guy?
sit here and bitch about it.
But I think we've all done it too. I've had guys text me, "Hey, what do you got, man?"
Yep.
And I've
It
never
happens.
turned anyone away who asked me.
Yeah, right. So outside of that, I think that Sherman Porter kid that Snapfinger got with 2-1 could be a running back. I think Rick, with his elusiveness and hole recognition and speed outside, can use this kid all fucking day. Plus, he returns punts. I mean, this kid's returning punts for me all fucking day.
Sherman, yeah. My guy, my big 233 pound guy can return punts.
Oh yeah, Kriggs. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely, dude.
And I think I'm probably going to put him in there, and I can let one of my wideouts go who has this shitty hole wreck, shitty route running, and let him go.
Yeah, but if you're gonna start him, do you really want to return in punts?
Well, he's got a shelf life of what, 5 years?
Yeah, he's 25.
So I've got to run him into the ground.
I'm always worried about my starters on punt or kickoff return. I don't want them to get hurt.
True, but young kids, I'm a little less worried about. You know what I'm saying?
When they
But-
get to their
if he's-
5th or 6th year, you should
If
be
he's
able
30
to-
years old and returning punts, yeah, you might have some worry.
I got
But
my,
I've not seen one get hurt on a return play.
No,
that
and
I
he's
know
got
of.
77 endurance, so he should be fine to play all downs. Take him out on
Mhm.
third, get your third down guy in there.
Right.
And that's going to take up 15 plays a game
see, I got
because you're going to
these
have
guys
15 to 20 third downs.
and kickoff returns. One's
And
a
then
96,
get-
one's a 90.
Yep, maybe a year or two, and then find another guy to punt return, and then Kriggs is fucking playing like every down, third and every down.
Yeah, we're
guy.
definitely going to be running. And I gambled on wideouts. I took 2 of them, and we'll see if I get lucky in one. If one can break 50 on route running, I'm having a party.
Ah,
Oh, so this
Gavin
is
Newsom, fuck him, cut him,
why did you
piece of
pick?
shit.
Why
I
did
wouldn't take a guy with that name, but yes, I like Logan Leggins.
I
Really?
picked
Logan
Leggins because I actually scouted him, and he came back as very underrated. And the scout had him over the 50 mark on a lot of the stuff.
I'm
So I
showing
said,
two
worth the
of
gamble.
Yeah, I'm showing 2 of 64 on Logan Leggins.
So now,
Gavin
if you guys
Newsom,
wanna
I would
see
just
some
cut
travel,
him for name alone.
you guys wanna see
Actually, I
some
like
travel,
Gavin Newsom. I'm a California guy.
You're not a California. You live in California.
I'm going to actually be living in Arizona in the next 2 months. We bought our
There's a
second
reason.
home in
There's a
Arizona.
reason for that, isn't there?
No,
you need
'cause
to
we,
escape, motherfucker. Get out of
No,
California.
we paid off our home, and we're going to let our daughter live in it here in California. And we'll go to Arizona to buy our dream home.
and
Yes.
you're gonna only stay out there for 2 months?
No, we're
Two
staying out
months
there
he's
forever.
living in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're moving
Yeah.
out there in
So
2
I could-
months.
I could question then, Rick. Why didn't you buy your dream home in California? Because
I'm
you
not
know
paying
you need to
800
get the
grand.
fuck out. You need to get the fuck out of there. Get out of Cali.
We got plenty.
Oh,
of room
see,
here.
I'm actually walking in my $1 million home. because I could sell it for $1 million.
We got plenty of room here in New York City.
We'll sell it for $1
Oh,
million.
and that's the other expensive city, New York.
No one wants to be there either, Clay. Get south. You get out of New York. Clay, what state? Or not Clay, Bob, what state are you in?
He's in the Berg. He's in Pennsylvania.
He's local.
You're all right for now.
He's local.
I'm in Minnesota. I got to get the fuck out of here.
That's
You guys want to
that's
see?
cold.
Take a
It
look.
must be
Hey,
freezing there.
take a look at something. You want to see some scouting? Pull up Tucker. Look at his coordinators.
Yeah, it's probably insane.
You want to know why he drafts?
It's got to be 98.
See, I want to land an offensive coordinator guy with a 98 bar. That's not my dream right there.
Pretty scary, huh, Clay?
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
he's
look at the other
89.
one.
Oh, that's
The
mine.
offensive coordinator on.
That's mine. I was looking
Yeah,
at my own guy.
Clay's got a
Hold
better
on.
offensive coordinator scouting than Tucker does.
Let's see. There you go. Yeah, he's right up there.
Yeah, but you see what he's doing here? Like, even if you look at his defensive coordinator, 87 scouting, 66 play calling. You want that play calling fucking up there, too, if you can. And 89 and 61 play calling for his offensive coordinator.
I run a 3-4 Eagle. It's hard to find a scout in 3-4 Eagle.
He's signed in Arizona.
You got him?
Yep. 92 scout bar, 3-4 Eagle.
There you go.
So I just wonder how much difference there is. So basically, you've been going,
Yeah.
oh, hey,
Pick for
you
pick.
got my Kerry Nordby.
Yeah.
Grab
Okay.
Nice. I'm
Wait,
glad someone
okay.
picked him up. His
Rick.
play, I didn't like his play calling.
Why did you pick this guy?
Imagine if you could trade scouts or coaches.
Well, put it this
guard.
way: the guy I had before was a 20 or something like that in scouting, so he had to go.
What would you
And
pay?
I wanted
Grim?
to.
Grim, what would you pay for Ben's offensive coordinator? Would you give him a second round pick for him?
Well, now that we've sat here and chatted, and I've got an 80 scouting on my offense, and Rick has a what, 92
On defense.
on defense. So I got
Yeah.
80 rating on my defense.
Mhm.
Rick's got a 92, and we're only 1 point apart.
Yeah, one
in
or
what
2
we're
points
seeing.
apart on everything. So the sweet spot's got to
There's
be the 80 to
80,
100.
80 plus. Yep,
80 plus.
Can you
But the-
trade scouts?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
What if you could? What would you pay for Ben's offensive coordinator with that scouting and play calling board?
Nothing, because mine's pretty close, I think. So he's got Winston Booth.
Let's say you had a shitty one like mine.
Yeah, what would you pay then? Would you pay a second round pick?
Yeah, if I had Clay's
I mean, the
offensive
first is
scouting.
kind of ridiculous, but after that, a second, you might
Yeah, but
really
it
think
doesn't
about
have
it.
the.
I mean, it's one
Yeah.
draft. You don't have a second round pick in, but you can have that coach, knock on wood, for how many seasons? 10, 15, depending on his age.
The player
Josh
development.
has got
I like a little player development and young talent as well, and you can't always get that. But no, for Ben's offensive coordinator, I wouldn't pay shit. Me, but he's also 48, and he's going to go up in some of those bars as well. So you keep him around for a little bit, you know.
I think that would have added an interesting extra element to the game, being able to trade your coaches. Not that the NFL does it hardly ever, if ever. I'm trying to remember if somebody's actually been traded.
Yes, you know, and I would rather have like Clay's head coach. He's got fucking 86 motivation, 84 discipline. That's fucking heavy. You want that motivation because you can go in at halftime and your coach is fucking talking to your boys going, hey, fucking play better, you know? And the
And that's
discipline.
so hard to do.
Yeah, discipline equals less penalties. But Clay's doing just fine with his fucking scouting ability of this guy is 25. And Ben put the emphasis is like, you guys put too much emphasis on scouting ability for your head coach. There's other things.
And now scout for a head coach, I fired and got Charles Cook, who's got a motivation of 79 and discipline of 80. So
Yep.
and scouting bar is garbage, but I don't care because I understood that back.
And Clay's head coach has 80 interviewing. You remember that one thing that I mentioned like 2 hours ago?
Yep.
It's like your bars were after you interview that guy, your bars like shortened up to like 4 points. So maybe 80's the fucking threshold.
Could be. I just
Yeah,
can't.
Charles Cook.
I just can't get a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, look at that. Young talent, dude. You guys should punt up. develop faster. Motivation 79, discipline 80. Wow. So
He'll be fine.
who's Bob's head coach?
Let's look.
Marco Alston.
Mark Austin. 39.
No motivation and
No play call.
lots of discipline.
Lots of discipline.
I mean,
Scouting ability. Yeah,
motivation.
it's time to fire his ass, brother.
Nah, he can stay a while.
And he's got you enough 8-8 seasons, though, right?
Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
You make a good point there. I guess I can't argue with
8-7-1,
that.
9-8, 12-5, 8-8, 8-8, 10-8, 8-8,
Ron, look at my
9-8-1.
new offensive coordinator. What do you think?
He did grab
Leon.
this year. Leon
Who's got here?
Oh,
Hefner.
81.
He just got
81
here this
scout.
season. He wasn't
Nope.
here last season.
Nope, beautiful. The scouting is what you fucking needed.
Mhm.
Play calling, I would like to be a little bit higher, but he's
Yeah,
all
but it's
right.
up from 0 before, so we're better than we were.
Yes, and player development and young talent is great. So, yeah, but good move.
He'll be here a
And
while.
he's young. He's 52.
He'll be here a while, and I don't know why, but I'm starting to like balanced better than spread and West Coast. So we'll see.
I think they all kind of run the same kind of schemes, except for in spread, I can only to get a perfect fit for everything. I have to play shotgun or pistol. I cannot.
Yeah, that's
be
the
up
only
on
way
the
you get
line.
it.
And like I said, I still try to run a lot, and Ren proved that, or not Ren, Ben proved that to me 10 seasons ago when he was running spread and running for 1,800 yards. You can still run.
Oh,
You know?
yeah. Yeah,
So,
there's no doubt. Well, my playbook at the moment, the one I used last season at 150 plays, and every single one, run and pass, was either best fit or solid for all three, West Coast, spread, and balanced.
And
All
you can
of them
even
for
throw
one or the other.
EP in there, too, if you can get a good,
So
solid E
I
EP.
could go to any of those styles and use that book. Now I'm adding 20 plays to tomorrow's file, mostly because I didn't have any 212I formation. There were some passes that I had in one formation, not in another. But I mean, I'll bet you out of those 20 plays, at least half of them fit all three into those parameters too. So I can go to any of those styles if I get a coordinator that's not balanced, as long as he's spread or West Coast.
yeah.
I'm fine.
Nope, I can absolutely. Clay, can you go to my shit on your right? Go to the right, Williamsburg. I want to look at I want to see what you see for my third round tight end.
Which one was it? This guy?
Yes.
Jarzik?
Man, if that route running sticks, I can do
I
something with
know.
that guy.
I like him if route running goes up. If he gets to 60,
Yeah, if that sticks, he's a guy. He can third down catch.
yeah, he'll be.
Can't really. I'm going to have to adjust some plays so he doesn't have to go over the middle so much, but he can adjust the ball.
It'll be a good pick. Third
I hope he
round.
fucking works out.
Yes. I like him.
All right, yeah, that's about all I got.
Okay, fellas, we'll end it here. It was fun.
It's always fun.
2 hours and 40 minutes. Ooh wee.
They're almost 3 hours.
At least
special,
we're
almost.
giving people something to listen to. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I go back and listen to these things. Like, how much of an idiot did you sound this time?
Same here. I listen to it as well.
Anyways, we got to do next Sunday. Oh, you're going to be moving.
I am. This whole week I'm
Fuck.
moving.
Where are you
Damn.
moving? What are you doing?
I moved out to Jersey. I bought a house in Weehawken. So it's a nice area.
Jersey's like the country section of New York, right?
I'm
no?
actually right outside of Lincoln Tunnel. I'm within 3 minutes from Lincoln Tunnel, but it's a certain area of Weehawken that's a beautiful area that I was able to pick up a place.
Taxes less?